as I know. Maybe next month anyway.
It's all for HOA. So we're getting the ball rolling. It's all for HOA.
You're gonna have to get up there. That's the way it goes, man.
Hopefully it goes smooth.
They don't do anything for the single family. Mow the berm. That's about it.
You guys have hazing over on this side of the town?
Yeah.
It's worth it because they do everything. But yeah, the single family.
All right, it's 7 o'clock. I call this regular city council meeting to order. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Haderlein.
Present.
Platt-Miller.
Here.
Lavallee. Here. Hoeflich.
Here.
Lancaster. Kreite.
Here.
Perkins.
Present.
Albertson.
Here.
Quorum is present.
Thank you. Item number 3 is authorization for city council member to attend a meeting electronically pursuant to section 2.05.h, electronic attendance meeting rule. Alderwoman Lancaster is asked to meet electronically, so we would admit her to the meeting.
Hello.
Hello, Alderwoman Lancaster. We are admitting you to the meeting.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. A small deviation from our agenda, we had an employee pass away from our utilities department a couple of weeks ago. So we would like to take a moment of silence in remembrance of Charlie Keller, who was a longtime employee of the city of Harvard, who will be dearly missed. So if we take a moment of silence to observe in memorial of Charlie Keller. All right, thank you. We'll move on to item number 4, which is public comment. And we have a very long agenda tonight with lots of agenda items. But if there's anything that that anyone wishes to address city council for items that are not on the agenda, please make your way to the podium. We'd be happy to see you so you can make your comments to city council. If you have comments for an agenda item, we will recognize you during those agenda items. Does anyone wish to address city council? Seeing none, we will move on to item number 4, which is a public budget hearing. So I'll open the public budget hearing for fiscal year 2026-2027. I'll take a motion to start the budget hearing, please.
Make a motion to start the budget hearing for 2026-2027.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Haderlein, second by Albertson. Any comments or questions here? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Platt-Miller.
Yes.
Lavallee.
Yes.
Hoeflich.
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes.
Kreite.
Yes.
Perkins.
Present.
Albertson.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
Thank you, clerk. At this juncture, we will accept comments from the audience for anyone that wishes to address the city council concerning the proposed budget for fiscal year 2026-2027. Anyone wish to address the city council concerning this year's proposed budget? Hearing none, I'll accept the motion to close the hearing of the budget hearing for fiscal year 2026-2027.
Make a motion to close the budget hearing for fiscal year 2026-2027.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Haderlein, second by Platt-Miller. Any comments or questions here? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Haderlein.
Yes.
Platt-Miller.
Yes.
Lavallee.
Yes.
Hoeflich.
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes.
Kreite.
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
Albertson.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
All right, I'll call the budget hearing closed. We now conduct a public hearing for Annamarie's development agreement. Seek a motion to open the public hearing for the developer agreement.
Make a motion to open the public hearing for the Annamarie's developer agreement.
Second.
I have a motion by Haderlein, second by Albertson. Comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Lavallee,
Yes.
Hoeflich,
Yes.
Lancaster,
Yes.
Kreite,
Yes.
Perkins,
Yes.
Albertson,
Yes.
Haderlein,
Yes.
Platt-Miller.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
All right, thank you, clerk. At this time, the budget hearing is open. Your action is requested for consideration and action on the proposed developer agreement between the City of Harvard and Annamarie Mid-America Incorporated as contemplated under the development agreement for the properties identified by the following pins: 01-21-200-003, 01-21-400-008, 01-15-300-002, 01-15-300-003, 01-22-100-001, 01-22-100-004, 01-22-326-003, 01-15-400-001, 01-22-200-001, 01-15-400-003, 01-22-200-003, 01-22-200-004, 01-22-200-006, 01-23-100-016, and 01-22-100-006. At this time, I'll recognize the petitioner. Please state your name and address for the record.
Working? John Fay with Amrise, 1067 Norwalk Road, Lamont, Illinois. The Mayor Kelly, members of the council, we're here at your request to make a short presentation regarding our intentions regarding mining the Lawrence Road property, and we brought a team along. If I could introduce them, we've got Frank O'Laughlin, our environmental manager, Mark Saladin, our outside counsel, Jennifer Wislowski, our senior land manager, and Doug Avercamp, our operations manager. So we appreciate your time tonight, and we just spent a few minutes. I think I'm too tall for this guy. Well, let's see what we can do here. So Amrise, first of all, Amrise Building Materials. We are an American company, and we're a world-class construction materials producer. And we operate basically in almost every state in the United States, and also in nearly all the provinces in Canada. We pride ourselves in being not only a national company, but a community partner, a member of the local business community, and we provide materials for everything around you: foundations, roads, streets, curbs, gutters, buildings, you name it, our materials are in it. We produce materials from the foundation through the roof throughout North America. We have a team of experts that assist. I've got a few of them here tonight, and they assist us along that path of mining. So first of all, I'm going to start at the end instead of the beginning, because we pride ourselves in not just being a mining company, but also in reclamation. A lot of people are always concerned about what happens when the mining stops, and that's a long time away from now, but it's still important. And basically, we work with Illinois DNR. We partner with the counties, Illinois EPA, again, IDNR, Illinois Department of Natural Resources, and local communities like Harvard to reclaim, once we're done mining, to reclaim the property in a world-class manner. And we got a couple of examples just locally here. Big Rock is a mined-out sand and gravel operation, and now we reclaimed it, and now it's an integral part of the Kane County Forest Preserve System. Algonquin Pit in McHenry County is now, again, fully reclaimed. It's Cary Lake at Rotary Park. 235 acres, it's a beautiful site. It's got including an 85-acre lake, and that's an area we used to mine. And then McGraw Sand and Gravel, Kane County again, that won some national awards, And we worked with the Max McGraw Wildlife Foundation to redevelop the 165-acre site. We're currently working with Kane County Forest Preserve District on a project at our Albertson site to eventually reclaim that for a forest preserve. So again, reclamation, like I said, it's the end of the story, but it's important. And we're considered a partner of choice with municipalities and governmental entities across the country. We deliver innovative solutions. We do everything we can to protect the environment as we're mining and when we're done mining. Now, getting more to specifics of Harvard, over 20 years ago, at the time, Meyer Material, which has since been acquired by Amrice, entered into agreements with the city of Harvard. Back in 2004, there was an annexation agreement. There was a conditional use permit, an ordinance granting the conditional use permit, which provided for the zoning and also for the permitting the mining. It would allow for sand and gravel operation and also a ready mix plant. And then also we had an ordinance, the annexation agreement. And that is what we're here before. We've been in discussions with the city for the past year to take the annexation agreement and extend it out with a development agreement in terms that the city would be comfortable with, that would provide for the mining going forward here for the next 20 years. But again, in the same way the city anticipated originally 20 years ago. So a couple of things happened. The main thing is the market changed drastically. So obviously, I think everybody in this room, we've not begun mining yet. We plan to. There's a great resource of sand and gravel there. It's our largest site in the region. It's one of our largest sites in the whole country. So it's a very important site. And our intent is 791 acres. And we plan to mine approximately 626 acres. And we'll provide buffers, along Lawrence Road, 150 foot. And we will also eventually convey material underneath Lawrence Road. And I know there's several folks I spoke to before the meeting, and also in discussions with the mayor himself about our impact on our operations, on groundwater and environment in general. So the intention here is, as we mine this property, first of all, we're going to do it in phases. We're not going to open up and scarify the whole thing at once, obviously. We will do it in sections. And when we're done mining a particular section, a lot of the time we'll end up creating a lake. But we'll fully reclaim that section as we move on to the next phase. So at no point will the whole property be being mined. But it'll be done in phases, working our way generally from east to west. And we will have, as part of the agreement, 8 monitoring wells installed. And these wells will check and help protect against any possible groundwater contamination. So we do not use chemicals in any degree with our mining process. We simply excavate and mine the property, mine the resource out. But in any event, we're going to monitor the groundwater and make sure that there is no impact. So when the studies were done originally by Meyer Material, we did wetlands analysis, we did wetland assessments, we did groundwater studies, we did well impact studies on the surrounding area, all that information. And any of those studies that need to be updated when we start mining, we don't know what year that is yet. It's probably a couple years down the road. But any of those studies that we need to update or redo or whatever, we will do that. I would also just like to emphasize, for the audience and the council, we're a very highly regulated industry. So in addition to, the approvals by the city locally, we have to get permits from the Illinois Department of Natural Resources, Bureau of Mines and Minerals for every acre we mine. And we have to bond every acre we mine for reclamation. We have to get water and air permits from the Illinois EPA. We have to comply with federal laws with regard to mining. So from whatever level you wish to speak of, again, we're highly regulated, and before we start mining, we will always get those permits, and per the draft development agreement, we'll always supply that information to the city, before we get going. So again, some issues that have been talked about, I've heard about dust control. We have, basically, we'll have screening berms around the site as we mine, and they'll be at least 10 feet high and vegetated. But most of the deposit, I'd like to point out, is below the water table, and that'll be mined in the wet. So we're not going to dewater it. What we're going to do, we'll use a drag line, we'll use backhoes. For the majority of it, some of it will dry mine, but most of it will be wet mined. And what that means, in a word, is a lot less dust, with that kind of process. Obviously, with such a large site, erosion and stormwater control are important. We know we've identified wetlands in the site. We will address those wetlands, we will protect them, and we will work with them in accordance, with the requirements of the Army Corps of Engineers, which we have to get a wetland permit from also. So that gets, when the mining all gets done, end up with a reclamation plan. As you can see, we're hoping eventually to have two very large lakes. And East Lake is over 400 acres, the West Lake almost 100. They'll have reasonable slopes. In addition, the development agreement calls for donating over 50 acres. They're highlighted in yellow on the south side of the lake to the city of Harvard eventually for a park. And I think that is most of it. Again, I just wanted to give the council and the audience, a high-level overview of our intentions here, moving forward. And we appreciate your time. Thank you.
All right, thank you. At this time, is there anyone that wishes to address the city council concerning the proposed developers agreement? Please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
Dexter Barrels, I'm on Oak Grove Road. I'm just wondering what happens when they start digging and my well goes dry. Who's going to pay to rebore it?
Okay, thank you. We'll address questions later. Anyone else wish to address the city council? Please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
Steve Rath, Rhonda Drive. Is there a chance that this could grow bigger than it is? My concern, we have property on Oak Grove Road, adjacent to that, just on the other side of the creek. Will that project expand farther than the creek, or will it stay on the north side of the creek?
Okay, thank you. The project is well-defined where it's currently at. I don't, unless council at some point in the future was to agree to expand it, but I don't see it expanding beyond what's currently being proposed. Anyone else wish to address this?
And Mayor, I would quickly add that this particular agreement that we're talking about is limited to the specific parcels identified.
Yes.
So in the event that someone sought to do any additional mining on any other parcels, they would need to come to the city for that specific project as well. So this is what we're talking about today is limited to these particular this particular area. The map's not up there right now, but as identified on that map.
Anyone else wish to address the council?
I just have a quick question. Who's going to end up with the rest of the acres?
What?
So 50 acres is going to go to the city of Harvard? Who gets the rest of it?
We need your name and address.
Oh, hey, I'm Aaron Kinney. I live at 205 Church Street, and I also own the farm right in between the two pits. I think it's exciting, I'll be honest with you, the idea of having a park. I think it's a misnomer to think that farming is better than necessarily mining, on the face of it. The idea of creating habitat, the idea of creating social space, that's amazing stuff. I've always appreciated your guys' vision for trying to create places for people that are in Harvard to be able to do things. I was super excited because I thought the whole 800 acres is going to go to the city of Harvard. I'm like, that's fabulous. But I am curious as to know what's going to happen to the rest of it.
I think that would be determined at that time, at the end of the mining, whether they ended up selling it or
Just leave it
otherwise.
fallow like the other ones that have been around Harvard?
I don't know the answer to that, Aaron. Aaron, the petitioner will have an opportunity to respond to all the questions. Any other comments or questions? Please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
Good evening, my name is Edward O'Brien, and I own the property on 2119 Lawrence Road, directly across from the area that you're speaking about, developing with gravel mining. A couple concerns that I have, myself included and several other people in the area have our own wells, and we're concerned about, we have a high water table now with the additional use of water to do this mining and washing of the gravel and aggregate. If we have situations where our water table then drops, it may require the drilling and deepening of existing wells that we need for our properties. And who will be responsible for that? Secondly, the one gentleman mentioned that Meyer Material had engaged some studies with the Army Corps of Engineers, because out by us there are a couple of streams that are considered navigable, though we might not expect to see a large Navy ship go down them. Canoes and boats do use them from time to time. Concern also in regards to mining the product and sending out is going to require trucks to come in and out of that region. And on our roads, that might be a concern with dust, and would those trucks be covered? And one of the gentlemen just mentioned too about shipping things out by rail. Would there be a rail spur line that would come onto that property to move cars containing that material for processing and shipment? And I know Meyer Material was looking at the future extension of O'Hare Airfield and needing to build additional runways, and looking very favorably at the site in McHenry County that we're talking about as a source of excellent gravel and materials for building. Will those things be considered as this development might move forward? Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ed. Anyone else wish to address City Council? Hearing none, then,
I was contacted by
Oh, sure.
by
Okay.
Christy Bourbonnais from Cripple Creek Ranch today, and I just wanted to share her questions, which were regarding the rivers, the streams and wetlands in that area, and her concern that those would be damaged and it could harm the water quality in the natural resources, the creeks in that area.
Okay, thank you for bringing that. I think she tried to, couldn't make the meeting this evening and reached out.
She was on her way out of town when I
Okay.
talked to her.
Were there any other comments or questions from that consideration? If not, I'll ask the petitioner if they would like to respond.
Thank you, Mayor. Brought up a couple of very concerns we've discussed, and internally try to cover them all. Regarding the streams and wetlands, it was correct. There is some wetlands on the property that have been identified previously. Those surveys are kind of old, so we would have a new wetland assessment done before we start mining, and we'll submit that to the Army Corps of Engineers. The streams are also a fragile habitat, and those will be looked at the same time with regard to that issue. Again, erosion control, the habitat, and the interaction with the streams and the wetlands. So that'll all be studied, and it'll be restudied again, because the 20-year-old studies aren't going to quite make it there. But until we have a mining schedule, we don't want to undertake those, because we want them to be done, like the year before we do the mining. So we know exactly what's out there and how to address it, and how to properly permit it with the Army Corps of Engineers, and Illinois EPA. Regarding the water table is high, I noted that, and that is correct. And it'll be high and it'll stay high, so we don't anticipate our operation and impacting the water table. Again, we're going to utilize wet mining. So we're going to take, and as we excavate, the lakes will be created. So when you get to a certain elevation out there, when we dig down, water's going to be coming in, and the lakes will be self-created, if they will, from the water table. But we don't plan to any fashion pump all that water out of there. It's not feasible. But rather we'll use wet mining processes, including drag lines and backhoes, to get the material. And the nice thing about that is a lot less dusty. As far as the well impacts, again, we did this well impact study years ago, and we'll take another look at that. If any homeowner has a well issue that thinks related to our operation, we would ask them, they can obviously contact the city, and they can contact us, and we'll investigate it right away.
Well, I think for a number of those respondents don't actually live in the city's corporate limits. They live outside of the city's corporate limits, but the city could certainly be the key point of contact.
Right. If they don't have our number, if they call you, I know the city will have our number.
Sure, of course.
For sure.
Yeah.
But and 1 second, don't go away. But our position is to be a good neighbor, whoever the neighbors. If they're in the city, they're not in the city. We want to be a good neighbor.
Thanks, Frank.
Yeah, introduce yourself.
Doug Avercamp, Operations Manager. I'm at 441 Suan Drive in Lake Geneva. I just want to address the general depth. And the operations guy, right, we work with our mine planners where the gravel's at. We're looking at an average depth of 30 feet. I don't know where the wells are at, but we do well guarantee programs all over the place. So when that gets addressed, but I just wanted to put that out there, that's what we're looking at, about a 30-foot depth into the aquifer, into the gravel, then we hit clay. Thank you.
Thanks, Doug. Regarding the site growing bigger, the city attorney's exactly right. Our property rights are strictly limited to 792 acres we own. And there was some question about what happens afterwards. According to the development agreement, once we mine out an area, if we don't petition for zoning, the city has the right to rezone it to R1, which is, I think, your most restrictive category. And then from there, it can be developed or redeveloped going forward, and the city would have full control of that process, that standpoint. As I mentioned early in the presentation, we partner with wildlife agencies, counties, perhaps the city of Harvard, to see about, ending up with an open space situation that can be worked out as part of that site, which I think could be, with the lakes, could be very amenable, could be a great amenity to have, have a lake-based area there, park area there. Regarding the trucks, will they be covered? Our rules are that the trucks should have tarps on them when they leave the site. That's our general rule across the site. Occasionally, the truckers break the rule, and they do get, we will sanction them, but that is our general rule. As far as track out, again, if we track out of the site, we will clean up the streets accordingly. We'll usually do it as a matter of operation, but the city notifies us, we'll do it right away. And then there was a question about a rail spur. That was a long-range plan. So obviously Harvard is part of a much larger Chicago metropolitan area, which has got a huge potential demand for, for sand and gravel for going forward in years ahead. So the idea would be to create a rail spur off the line there, and then shiprock, most probably back into the city and into the metro area. Thank you.
All right, thank you. At this juncture, I've closed comment section, so I now shift over to the city council. for you to discuss, and if you have questions or comments for the petitioner.
Mayor, if I can make one quick note here, just so, because we do have a number of people here, and so the council knows, because they probably weren't told. The public hearing that we're doing, it's not a required one under any city ordinance or anything along those lines, but we did endeavor to keep it as along those lines as possible. So we did send notice to everyone within 250 feet of the project, which was what you would need to do for a planning and zoning commission meeting. And we also did publish notice of this in the newspaper, so that everyone who gets that would have notice of the hearing. So, although we are not in front of the planning and zoning, this is getting the same notice out to everyone as if it were.
Council?
I got a question. Is your closest operation the one on the north side of McHenry, town of?
I have 6 operations, so the one on 120,
Yeah,
that would be one of them. That's pit 26.
yeah. Is that the closest one to this one, or is there?
It's about
another
15 miles where the crow flies-ish, right?
one? Right, but I'm asking, is there another one closer?
Marengo,
Yeah, right.
right? So down in 23, that are Marengo pit there. I'm not sure. I think I can make it to McHenry quicker than I can make it to Marengo from here.
Yeah, are either locations getting close to being mined out?
McHenry is, as you probably know, we just went through we're on our last year on the south side of the property of 120. The north side is in Wonder Lake, so that was re-permitted to 2032. So there's acres up there to mine, and that comes underneath the highway already through a tunnel system with reclamation that's already in progress.
Okay. That's all.
Okay, thank you.
Doug, are any of your operations in this area wet mining operations?
They're all, Councilwoman, they're all wet.
They're all? But now, so is that?
Except for our stone quarries. Up in this
Okay.
region, it's all sand and gravel.
Okay.
Northern Illinois, we call it.
Yeah.
right?
Because when I've been to the McHenry pit, it must have been originally not.
It was both, right? So it was
Okay.
dry bank, and we finished that off,
Yeah.
pulled the jaw crusher out in
Okay.
2024, and then we're
Okay.
extracting underwater, the same thing we're doing there, well monitors.
Okay,
Algonquin was the same way that we turned into Cary. I was the ops guy. When
okay,
we dredged that out to finish off the park and worked with a contractor to do that project. It was a pretty cool project, actually, to
Okay.
get that done.
and is there any documentation on impacts to local wells?
Absolutely. We have, it's all public, no impacts, but we have
Okay.
all the documentation, all the testing that's done by independent third party that we
Okay.
hire. The report goes into the city. We just had our annual review and public, those records are published for anyone to look at,
Okay.
what the water qualities are like and the depth. We have not had a well that drained. That's another 30-foot
Okay.
through the aquifer operation.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, on that too, I didn't hear you guys say what you would do if it was affected. You said to
I'm
call
sorry?
the city or call you guys?
I'm sorry?
For the residents that are affected with a well, I heard that your answer was you would call the city. The city's never done anything for outside of city limits, in my knowledge. I say you don't live in the city, we don't help you, right?
So
But
normally,
you didn't clearly say what you would do.
I think
if
we can
anybody's
get
well was affected.
we can get that dialed in on what a protocol would be.
Mhm.
What we do with our other operations, we create websites. So we have a call-in line, social media, all that good stuff, right? Sometimes it's not really good because some people get on there and it's weird, but yeah, so we put all that stuff out there. We're a public company, right? We obviously take this very serious on transparency and making sure that if something does happen, we want to know about it right away so we can investigate, take care of the situation if something would happen.
Another question, is this property only a gravel pit? Can it be a data center? Can it be developed? Can you do something
Oh,
else
it's gonna be a
with it?
lake. We're
Good.
competing against data centers right now down
Correct.
in southern Illinois.
Can-
We've looked at those properties. They have gravel underneath them, but
My question is, can it be something other than a gravel pit at any time in the future?
if we don't mine it,
Yep.
that wouldn't be my call, right?
Okay, so the answer is yes? could
I'm
be.
a miner, right? So, I mean,
If you
to
can't
mine it
mine
out, anything's possible, right? It could
You can't
farm
mine it.
right now,
What
right?
are you
So,
gonna do with it if you can't mine it?
yeah, Frank, or John, if you want to answer that one, or I'm not for money.
No, it's a good question. If you can see it back on the reclamation plan there, a huge portion of this property, almost 500 acres, is going to be lakes. So, and what I said earlier, and I know I said a lot, but basically, when we're done mining a section, or, we'll go in sections, or a number of phases to this. When we're done mining, the city has the prerogative to zone it to R1. From then, the city, it can be developed as R1, or anybody wants to do anything else with it, whether it be a data center or commercial use or whatever, the city of Harvard's going to have full control over that process. But you can see on that exhibit, the substantial portion is going to be a lake. So that, I don't know what will happen in 20 years, but I don't see where that'll be redeveloped in anything. That's why we partner a lot with counties and open space agencies.
Wasn't it more like 50 years for that?
I'm sorry?
I thought you said it was more like 50 years for that
It'll
lake
be,
or pond.
yeah, 20 years is minimum. It'll be, mining is a slow process, and that's a
Right.
huge site. So you're out there 40, 50 years possibly. Yeah, it's going to take a while.
Well, I think that's Alderman Creed's question is, given that time frame, and maybe this is a question for our attorney, does the zoning that is approved, that would be approved on this property, if we extended the agreement, would it permit, what other uses would be permitted under the zoning?
So specifically, a data center would not be permitted. I don't believe there's anything even in the city code at all that permits a data center at this time. So in the event that they did not want to move forward with it, they could not just turn around and sell it to somebody that wanted to put a data center there. They would then have to come to the city council, planning and zoning, and go through the whole process then. You couldn't just drop something like that in there. The way this is currently set up, I believe just about anything over agricultural use would require, I don't know, this is an M1, so it's a standard M1 zoning for this, so I need to double check exactly what's permitted under that, but it's it's manufacturing that's permitted throughout the city.
So the long way to get there is there's still a process to turn that around to just what I asked about. Worst case
Yes,
scenario, you go
theoretically,
through that process, and then you get what I suggested, right?
yeah, just like any other piece of property in the city of Harvard,
So you can change it
it
through the
could be,
process.
it could be changed.
And
Yeah.
it is manufacturing
Yeah.
would be the zoning.
Yeah, Doug just brought up a good point. Currently, we're leasing the vast majority of the site for farming. So we don't just let it sit fallow, but we have, again, a huge portion of the property is for farming. And when we start mining, our portions where we're not mining will continue to farm. So that it won't just sit there. But our intent, in the special use permit provisions in the development agreement is pretty specific to mining, which is what we want to do. So I think some other alternate use that I can't dream of right today, would have to come before the city council again.
I think this is just more still, still being the newbie here. This agreement, and I probably won't be on council then, is for 20 years. And then after 20 years, we have to figure out, the council at that moment would have to figure out what to do at that point. If they wanted to renew it, if they wanted to extend it. Is that correct?
Yes, was a clause in the agreement, it says that the city would work with Amrise to seek to renew the agreement. But it would be up to the city council at that time to negotiate those terms.
Okay, just like 20 years ago, somebody negotiated
Yes,
this,
that's correct.
and nothing was done.
And nothing was
And now-
done, and then we
and now here we are again.
renegotiated the
And
terms
20 years ago,
today.
it could be that for somebody else.
Could very well be.
Just making sure I
And
understand.
very likely will be, because as they've stated, it's such a large site, they're not likely to mine the entire site in 20 years, especially because they don't expect to start right away anyways. So at the end of this 20-year agreement, that city council at that time would be negotiating well in advance of the end of the agreement to extend the agreement up to that negotiated settlement at that time.
Thank you.
Yep.
How close is the rail to your property now? I can't really see the map very good. Is it on there even?
See in the lower left-hand
Oh, that
corner?
angle part on the bottom there?
Yeah.
Okay, I can't
Yeah, it's,
tell.
I know it's not the easiest to see, but on the lower left-hand corner, I guess
Okay.
that'd be the southwest corner, the spur,
Right where that triangle is.
right.
In the operations slide, it does show where the rail loading area is. If we go back to that slide. Just right through here. You know, I can't get on that one, but this is the process area. And the rail siding, the spur would come in here, and this is the rail loading area is right here.
I can't see it either, so what's the closest road?
Lawrence.
Well, does it come right off that rail in Lawrence?
Yeah, it's coming right off the main line, right?
Yeah, so the line that leaves Harvard going north past Lawrence, it'd be that line, which north of the city is only freight. And commuter service starts in Harvard.
Right, but they're gonna have to turn off of that towards the pit, right?
Good part, though,
Yeah,
is
that's why they would have a spur.
with that rail spur, though, they're not driving trucks down through the highways, though. And that's the other benefit of that, though.
Indeed.
Right.
Less trucks, and they are able to move more gravel at a more costly, efficient manner.
Yeah.
Because a rail car is a lot less expensive to move a lot more gravel, would take a lot more trucks and be more costly in comparison. So rail is definitely a more cheap solution when you're moving lots and lots of gravel.
How many extensions did we have on this, 3 or 2? When this stuff expired originally?
I didn't hear you, I'm sorry.
Your extensions that you were granted to come to this point, we have 2 or 3 extensions that you were granted.
There's a couple of extensions that granted the annexation agreement. And then with that, to give both parties time to negotiate a development agreement that both sides were happy with. And then that would take us forward the next 20 years. And as was mentioned earlier by the mayor, at that point, the council, would have the prerogative to deliberate like you are tonight about extending it or how to extend it.
So I have a question for the other council members. So what I'm hearing is that this site is bigger than would be mined in 20 years. So even if Meyer had started 20 years ago, with everything that happened, but they probably wouldn't have been done with mining it by now. Is this our vision for this part of Harvard? I mean, is that for the next 50 years, it's just going to be a gravel mine out there? Because that's what we're saying, because once it starts, then it sort of has to continue in that vein. And I'm concerned about that being the vision, because I'll tell you, there's probably not going to be much interest in the park until the mining's done, because it's all one big bathtub. I mean, it's all one big connected. It's not like, oh, there's the city park and here's this part of the lake that you can use. There's going to be active mining going on in the other parts of the lake. I don't know.
Alderwoman Haderlein, I appreciate your concern and your vision, but 50 years ago, none of us had a cell phone in our pocket. There are a lot of things that we can't predict.
Right.
I know that some of the best fishing that my family ever did when they were much younger were at gravel pits and, lakes formed by gravel pits. And quite honestly, I feel that if 20 years, if this isn't mined, the next city council may fully agree with you, which also could be a possibility at this point. But I think that moving forward with this plan, the way it's been negotiated, is yes, something that I could say we could do based on what we negotiated and based on development in the future, a lot of which we're not going to see. 50 years ago, 50 years it wasn't that long ago, but no one had a computer in their home. We couldn't be streaming on the internet. There are going to be things 50 years from now that we can't even imagine, jobs that our kids are going to have that we can't even process.
What's that have to do with the gravel pit?
What that has to do with the gravel pit is that you're asking, is this what we envision? We can't necessarily envision 50 years, but what we can do right now is envision that we can make a decision that we want this to move forward so that we can have a park and we can have a lake and we can have R1 development as we see it today.
As the other council member just said, you're talking about a potential park that we're still not going to be able to use for 50 years.
Oh, actually, that's not correct. The Phase 1, when Phase 1 is done, will become the park and usable use. So the plan is built in, I believe, 5 phases, if I remember correctly. The first phase, which will be the area where the park would eventually be maintained, would give the city access to a lake and parkland well in advance of the finished project. So to Alderwoman Haderlein's point, yes, there will be active mining on the site, but there will be a lake use that the city currently has no public lake use at all in the city. There are a couple of ponds that are available to residents, but there is no lake that is open to the public. And so
But the
this
city
would,
doesn't take care of those ponds as it is,
what's that?
Right.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're garbage. To Lisa's point, it's not part of the vision, but if you guys, anyone, you locals and you residents out there, I enjoy thoroughly going up and down that road for all the farm stands and the active farming community that's out there. The city should stop saying that they're a rural farming community and all that hoopla, because this is telling you it's now a gravel mining city. You know, all these folks here have property, a life investment. What is their life's work worth when the first shovel goes in? Is their homes protected? Is their values protected? These are very important questions.
Any other comments, questions?
Quick question. So after phase 1, we get this park. Is Annamarie gonna put everything in this park for us so we don't have to foot a penny of it? Because we barely can keep up with our parks currently.
I don't think that's the agreement. The
Okay.
agreement is that they turn over the land to the city for the park. And if I,
You have a lot of mining fees.
as is
that are
pointed
coming,
out, the expectation is
I
that.
can't
would
hear you,
happen-
John.
I said we
Excuse
could-
me, I have the floor.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor.
The expectation is that the park would be available to the city by 2050. Okay, Alderman.
I was just going
Lavallee.
to say that we will have mining fees coming in, and we could dedicate those to a fund that could develop that parkland and other parkland in the city. I mean, we could do whatever we want with that money. And so, I mean, I like this agreement from the fact that I wish 20 years ago, they would have put an agreement like this together. And then, Enterprise or Meyer did nothing, and we'd be walking away with a nice chunk of cash. And so 20 years from now, if Amrise does not do anything to the property, we walk away with a nice chunk of cash. So, I said this before, and I'll say it again. We sit on a gold mine of sand and gravel up here, and I think we should take advantage of it.
The terms for the park can be found on page 16, section 31 of the agreement.
Just a minute, sir. John, if you would please take a seat. Please state your name and address for the record.
Noe Nunez, 1206 Primrose Lane, here in Harvard. So dredging doesn't use up a lot of water, as you guys are mentioning. Do you guys know how much will be used?
It's self-contained, there's nothing leaving the property.
It's already there.
We're pumping with water.
So you guys are just using the well waters?
No, just the natural occurring water in the upper water aquifer. That's how the mining process works. No, we don't use high volume wells.
Thank you.
Further questions, comments?
I just had another comment. If you lived in Harvard long enough, how is this any different from any other business or promise that we've been told? Whether it be Motorola, the glove factory, nothing's ever panned out nor produced to the satisfaction that gets everybody a buzz, opening their homes and their hearts to stuff like this. I apologize if it's offensive, but I just don't see what you're promising, what you're offering, coming through the way it says, but I don't see how it benefits us significantly. $100,000 a year, that's not a lot of money.
Well, and it's $100,000
For
a
$100,000,
year.
you're destroying
Right.
that property and all around it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's $100,000 a year that, in effect, it's money that we have to, that's going to be credited against future tipping fees or mining fees, right? So, how do we use it? Do we set it aside for the park? So what's from a functional standpoint, how are we even going to be able to access it?
How are you going to be able
From
to
a
access
From a
the
practical
funding?
standpoint, to actually use those funds.
It would be up to your discretion.
Right,
Which is still not a lot.
No.
We can use all the money we can get, but
I don't disagree.
every road, 87% of all roads are garbage. What did we say that was, $42 million?
Yeah.
That ain't gonna get us any closer with that
Gotta start
either.
somewhere, Joel.
I know, right?
Well, you're turning money away now.
Well,
You're saying it's so big, we just can't bite on that apple. So why don't we just get rid of the apple?
Not that, it's the aesthetics and the look. Like you said, the vision of Harvard is one thing. The other thing is, you guys were talking about creating all this tourist stuff, attractions, hotels, and a destination. I'm not going to any town with a gravel pit and 2 miles from it. I don't understand why that would make us any more interesting besides money. Adding that to our city just doesn't seem to fit.
And the park then will be across from the yard.
Yeah.
And there'll be berms, but yeah,
still.
look at how nice the berms are on McGuire.
And
And look at I agree with Alderman Crete. Look at the agreements with Merriman. How did we do on collecting anything from that?
they still owe us.
Yeah. So,
Well, I would submit that Merriman and Amrise are two completely different organizations. One is, we know, and the other is a publicly traded company that's highly regulated and in fairly good standing. So I think that's an apples and oranges comparison. between
Motorola
those
was
two
too when it came. Look what happened with Motorola, because technology that Annamarie kept talking about in 50 years we won't see, because Motorola stayed with the one technology thinking it was going to change, and look where we sit with that, an empty building.
To be
fair gravel and sand isn't not going to be used in the future, and you're talking about this as if it's in downtown. Like, I'm not going to go to Harvard because there's a gravel pit downtown. It's not downtown. You won't know it if you come here unless you go through that area, especially given the fact that it's going to be going through on freight.
Indeed, most residents don't even realize this property actually is in the city's corporate limits, because it was added to the city's corporate limits specifically to mine this site.
Right, and that's what I mean about the vision or lack thereof, is it was just plunked out, like, okay, we're just going to have this big thing that's almost as big as the rest of the city from a acreage standpoint, when you look at it on the map. But what's our vision? I mean, how is that part of the city other than, oh, it's just, we're, just gonna mine it and turn it into a big bathtub and.
Because you're also talking about
Yeah.
this as if they're going to just start and stop, but they have a bunch of other mines and other success stories
Right.
that they have done. How many mines have you guys backed away from that you've started? Have you? Because it's not in your best interest either.
Once we start, I can't think of one that we backed out, but once we start finding it.
So, again, to the other point, so like, yes, it might be ugly for a bit, but it's also not a open pit gravel like you see in Rockford, for example. This is a dredge situation. It'll be water. It won't be as ugly as the ones that we have everywhere else. So it's when you talk about not having a vision, it's right here. That's not today, that's not tomorrow, that's not in a year, but that's the goal to get there, right? And that is added benefit to that entire neighborhood once that is complete. You can't tell me that a lake isn't going to raise property values.
And a lake that we have no idea who's going to own it and what's going to happen to the land around it.
That's the question.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big question mark, and it's going to have at least R1 zoning, potentially. I mean, who knows what a future city council will actually do, if they will actually give it R1 zoning or if they'll leave it M1 zoning, so.
I can't say to that effect. Pursuant to this agreement, it will be R1 zoning unless the council changes it in the future. So it would have to then come before you again.
Yeah.
But based on this agreement, it will automatically become R1.
May I, please? Somebody once said, great leaders plant trees from which will never experience the shade. I think the question that I have on this piece here is 50 years from now, our kids, our grandkids, the idea of turning something that is just rich with societal impact, the ability for people to congregate, people to get together, the people to go fishing with their kids, that's really attractive. I think the question is management. How is that going to be managed? How do we make sure that that turns into what we hope that that could be? And how do we make sure that the people around that area aren't contaminated, that their wells don't dry up, that there isn't some kind of impact to the ecology? Like, those are the questions. Because that, to me, when I think about my grandkids, a park of that size where they can just go, that should be the question. Not money, not data centers. It's what are we offering to our children?
Council, what's your pleasure? What do you want to do here?
I had one more question. How would the truck route go to the highway? Like, once they start running trucks?
I don't know what route they would take. Presumably, they would take Lawrence to Oak Grove Road to 14.
To the 14 from Lawrence Road?
Yep. I mean, the main thoroughfares are Lawrence Road, Oak Grove Road to 14.
I know what I'm saying. Would they go down Oak Grove Road? No, yeah.
It would probably go through by Milky Way.
Probably go down, yeah, Lawrence to.
They'll use all the roads.
73?
Truck drivers don't care what road they're on, as long as they don't get caught.
Yeah, Lawrence Road to 173, Lawrence Road to Oak Grove Road to 14 would be my guess is how they would go. Yeah, whatever the truck route is, yeah.
Oh, I just thought if they were planning on making something different, or trying to.
No, I think Lawrence Road, Oak Grove Road to 14 is like designated truck traffic on those roads. Whether they would take Lawrence Road to Oak Grove, or down to 173 via Lawrence Road that way, I think it will also support truck traffic. So.
I have a procedural question, Mayor.
Yes.
We're still in the public hearing.
We are still in the public hearing,
And-
and as part of the public
Okay.
hearing is to, the actions requested to consider and take action on this proposal.
Just making sure I got that correctly.
So what action do you care to take? I should ask, Alderwoman Lancaster, did you have any comments or questions?
I've been pretty much listening to the rest of what my fellow council members have been saying, and my concern was to make sure that if we proceed in a certain direction, that we don't end up in the same pitfalls that we have for other situations that have been similar. It would be nice if everything comes to fruition. It seems like there is a concrete plan, but most of my other questions have been asked, and since I'm on a time delay here, I didn't want to interrupt any of my fellow council members.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I do have a comment that I'd like to make with regard to the creek and the wetland area, and this is based on what happened when it was first approved. I had, at that time in 2004, since I was actually at all of those hearings and read all of the materials, and anyway, I had extensive conversations with the Army Corps of Engineers at that time, and what I was told is that from a regulatory standpoint, when it comes to wetlands, they can only control filling of wetlands. They cannot control excavation of wetlands. And so the reality is, at the end of the day, this will be a giant 30-foot deep bathtub, in effect, lake, with Lawrence Creek coming in, going into the water, going into the lake, and then coming out the other end. And the wetland area, even if it is not physically mined, it will be hydrologically impacted by the mining, by the disturbance of the ground. So that cannot be avoided unless they were to change the plan. And I confirmed that with the Army Corps of Engineers 20 years ago. And the plan has not changed from 20 years ago, and the nature of hydrology has not changed in 20 years. So,
Now, if I can clarify that, Mayor, I mean, the Army Corps permits, first of all, we can't impact or excavate the wetlands without an Army Corps permit. There's multiple ways to do this. You can avoid them, preserve them. You can also mitigate them, depending on the size and quality of the wetland. So in this case, again, we will come back with, let's say, 3 years down the road, we want to start mining, and 2 years from now, a year before we start mining, we'll come in, we'll do a new wetland assessment, and based upon the current Army Corps rules, and we will, again, address those issues. So we have to either preserve them or mitigate them if we do impact them. The same goes with the stream and the water course there. We have to preserve that, and that gets into another agency, an Illinois Division of Water Resources. So luckily, the city doesn't have to have all these experts, on your staff. Because the Illinois IDNR, Division of Water Resources, the Illinois EPA, they have experts, and we have to get permits from all of them to mine this.
yeah, and you'll be granted the permits. I mean, that's what they were told 20 years ago. I mean, the Army Corps said they had no objection to the plan 22 years ago. So they had a letter of no objection from the Army Corps of Engineers, so they were done.
I understood that, and we're not going to rely on a 20-year-old
Right.
assessment.
they're
That's what I'm trying
even
to tell you.
Less,
Yeah,
their regulatory arm is even less
Yeah.
tough than it was 22 years ago.
Whichever agency we deal with, again, Illinois,
Right.
U.S. Army Corps, Division of Water Resources, Illinois EPA, we will not get a permit unless we comply with each and every regulation, whether it be state or federal. And we also have the development agreement where the city's considering, and we will also comply with that.
Thank you.
Council, what's your pleasure?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the Ameris developer agreement as written.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Lavallee, a second by Albertson to approve the developers agreement as presented. Any comments or questions?
I like the idea, except I don't think the 100,000 is enough, to be honest with you. I think they should give us the 100,000 and not deduct it from the sales.
It is at a rate, though. It does change over as
So-
years go.
So if you read the contract, you would note that the.
I did read
yeah.
most of it.
So they are obligated to pay us $100,000 as a credit towards future mining fees.
Right.
But after 5 years, the repayment of those future mining fees reduce, and after 10 years, it reduces
Yeah.
again.
And then the last,
So-
they get nothing.
Yes, so the answer is, you actually are getting $100,000 in today's dollars, and the credit is gonna be 75 or 50% in tomorrow's dollars. So recognize that there's actually more than a 25 or 50% savings to the city by getting the dollars today versus inflationary dollars of tomorrow. So, but the contract was negotiated in such a way that it incentivizes them to begin mining sooner because they would get more credit by mining sooner and less credit the longer they wait. So the idea here is then on top, the city gets ongoing revenue right away that you can spend at your discretion. And the credit that they would receive once they do start mining doesn't take from our income. In other words, we're not taking out of the budget to pay them. They get a credit against the
I
money
understand
they've
all that
taken.
part.
So there's no money coming out of pocket to repay the credits.
I do have one other comment, Mayor, and I just want to thank the community for coming out today. A lot of times we go through this and we don't know what you're thinking and what your concerns are. So I just want to take a moment and thank you for your public comments and for actually being here, because that means a great deal to me and the rest of the council. So thank you.
I just had another comment for the council. If you notice, all our newest subdivisions in town all have a cornfield or some agricultural property butts up to them. You mentioned it earlier, no one knows it, no one's gonna see it. It affects somebody and everybody at some point. Would you sell out that same piece of property for 100 grand, or for any price for that matter? Because someone's offering you a good deal. You probably have a much bigger room if one of the subdivisions had to fight a gravel pit per se, going on the other side of their residence. If we want to develop this town, like you said, there's a vision, right? And if we're going to be a farming town, then let's be a farming town, let's be rural. But if you're going to do that, protect what that is. Since I was a kid, I don't remember a cow next to a gravel pit in any photo or any school tour. But if anybody wants to go this route, everybody should know who voted yes and who voted no. And like you said before, we'll see how it goes. But once you make that commitment,
Yeah.
you better own it.
All right, any other comments? Questions? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Lavallee.
Yes.
Hoeflich.
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes.
Kreite.
No.
Perkins.
No.
Albertson.
Yes.
Haderlein.
No.
Platt-Miller.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-3.
All right. Thank you, Amrise, for coming out and doing your presentation.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
And thank you for all the community for coming up and giving your comments. At this juncture, I'll take a motion to close the hearing.
I'll make a motion to close the hearing.
Second.
I have a motion by Platt-Miller, second by Perkins. Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Lavallee.
Yes.
Hoeflich.
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes.
Kreite.
Yeah.
Perkins.
Yes.
Albertson.
Yes.
Haderlein.
Yes.
Platt-Miller.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
Thank you. This hearing is now closed. Could we please have some order in the gallery so we can continue with our meeting? I'm going to ask for a motion to move item 22 to item number 7. This is so that we can move our city engineer along, who has been sitting patiently waiting to discuss these things. If council agrees, can I have that motion?
Well, I believe we have other people who are waiting for other items on
Especially
the agenda.
awards.
Yeah.
Disappointments.
Okay, no issues then if
Sorry,
you don't
Gary.
care to do that. Moving on to item number 7 is the consent agenda 7A through 7G. Is there any item on the consent agenda that council wishes to remove from the consent agenda?
A and F.
A and F. Okay. Otherwise, I'll take a motion to accept 7B through 7E and 7G.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda, items 7B through E and 7G.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Haderlein, second by Platt-Miller. Any comments or questions here? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Hoeflich.
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes.
Kreite.
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
Albertson.
Yes.
Haderlein.
Yes.
Platt-Miller.
Yes.
Lavallee.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Item number 8 is now going to be item 8A and item 8B. Item 8A is regular city council meeting minutes from March 24th, 2026.
So I would like to revise that during the time when we did the voting for the 4 a.m. alcohol sale. There's nothing in the minutes about when I asked questions of the chief, how long the bars stay open at that time, and which was said, and there's nothing in the minutes on that.
Minutes are intended to reflect the action taken, not a verbatim record of the.
But also discussions, a little bit of it.
Some of it, but not a verbatim discussion.
Why was one able to be put in there about a favor for it, but someone had a concern about you didn't want to put that in there?
I can't answer that.
So-
I didn't record those minutes.
Okay.
Staff, can we make adjustment to the minutes?
Under Class B liquor license, Alderman Perkins? Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, for the 360 South Division one.
Okay, what would you like added?
That the question about, if there's any place open past 2 a.m., and the chief replied back, no.
Got it.
Thank you. All right, item 8B is now Harvard Milk Day's proposed routes for the 2-mile walk, 5K, and 10K runs.
So, of course, I'm going to vote yes on this, but the thing I want to quick ask the council is, I saw where the routes are at for this. Do we want to make sure we might not vote yes for it because the roads aren't done yet and we don't want to do any more damage to them? I'm just putting it out there. I know there's other things that we've postponed because we thought about doing damages on things. So so I just want to make sure, since, it's a 2-mile walk, 5K, 10K run, we'll get 100,000 people running on these streets. Could deteriorate them even more.
You know something I don't know?
Are you worried about damage to the roads or damage to ankles?
No, the roads.
Fair point, though.
I mean, there's other things in, the reason why I brought this up, and when I do my committee report, that's the reason why you guys will know. But, just saying, I just wanted to make sure that you guys are aware that this could damage the roads even more. And they're not, these ones aren't fixed yet. So, but like I said, I'm going to be voting yes.
And I would agree with Alderwoman Platt-Miller about damaging ankles.
Yeah, it could
You
be a
know,
lawsuit then.
Yeah, on, especially on hard. This is some really tough potholes.
All right then, any other comments or questions? So, I'll accept a motion to, approve the regular city council meeting minutes from March 24th, 2026, pending, update of, the item concerning a question regarding, liquor license past 4 a.m. And item B, which is Harvard Milk Day's proposed routes for the 2-mile walk, 5K, and 100K runs.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion by Perkins, second by Platt-Miller. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Lancaster.
Yes.
Kreite.
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
Albertson.
Yes.
Haderlein.
Yes.
Platt-Miller.
Yes.
Lavallee.
Yes.
Hoeflich.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Item number 9 is a plat presentation. So at this time, we would like to recognize Library Director Karen Satera for her long work and service to the city of Harvard and the Harvard Dickens Library. You know, Deb's going to try and get a picture here.
She wants one with the mayor.
Probably not. Karen, it's been a pleasure working with you all these years, and I wish you much joy and success as you enter retirement. So.
It's the best city to work for, ever.
At this time, item number 10, we'd like to do a presentation for Planning and Zoning Commissioner Paul Hurley. Is Paul present? If not, we want to recognize him for his service to the Planning and Zoning Commission. He has reached the end of his term. We will be sure to mail the plaque to him. Yeah, go, please do. I'll ask the clerk to read the plaque for Paul Hurley.
Certificate of recognition presented to Paul Hurley for outstanding service as a member of the Planning and Zoning Commission from May 23rd, 2023 to April 30th, 2026. This recognition is presented in grateful appreciation for unselfish, dedicated service to the citizens of the city of Harvard, presented by Mayor Michael P. Kelly and members of the City Council, attested to by me.
Thank you. All right, moving on to item number 11, we'd also like to recognize Planning and Zoning Commissioner Steve Kreviston for his service serving on the Planning and Zoning Board. I see his son's here, but I don't see Steve here. So if you could read the plaque for Steve.
Certificate of recognition presented to Stephen Kreviston for outstanding service as a member of the Planning and Zoning Commission from March 23rd, 2021 to April 30th, 2026. This recognition is presented in grateful appreciation for unselfish, dedicated service to the citizens of the city of Harvard, presented by Mayor Michael P. Kelly and members of the City Council, attested by me.
All right. We'd greatly appreciate when citizens step up and serve under the various commissions and boards that the city has. It is purely volunteer, although planning and zoning does get a small stipend, but generally it's not worth the amount of time that they do to put into it. So we certainly do appreciate when citizens step up to these roles. Moving on to item number 12, at this juncture, we would like to administer the oath of office for Yadir Padilla, who was appointed to the Planning and Zoning Commission last month, but was away on vacation. So if you could please come forward, and the clerk will swear you in.
I will stop. Must be too excited.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Yadir Padilla,
I, Yadir Padilla,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
as a member of the Planning and Zoning Commission
as a member of the Planning and Zoning Commission
for the City of Harvard according to the best of my ability.
for the City of Harvard to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Item number 13 is Planning and Zoning Commission mayoral appointment for oath of office, seeking action requested to approve the mayor's recommendation to appoint Carlos Gonzalez to the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Make a motion to approve the appointment of Carlos Gonzalez to the Planning and Zoning Commission.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Haderlein and a second by Hoeflich. Any other comments or questions?
Is Carlos here?
Yes, he is.
All right.
Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Kreite.
Carlos, don't take this personal. I support this. You'll probably get in. I just wanted to note that I didn't agree with the process and the way it went. And I'd like to get us a little closer to some notification when these things come up. And I did read it. It's your right. It's your way of doing it. But I'd like to just see some more of this communication in the future. But congratulations, Carlos. Please don't take it personal. You'll think you'll do great.
Alderman, I need a yes or no or abstain.
Well, based on my comment, no.
Okay.
But
Alderman Perkins.
Carlos, same thing. Don't take it personal. No.
Alderman Albertson. Yes. Haderlein.
I have the same concern, but I will vote yes.
Platt-Miller.
Yes.
Lavallee.
Yes.
Hoeflich.
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-2.
All right, thank you, clerk. At this time, we would like to do the swear-in, yes. So, Carlos, if you could please come forward, we'll swear you in.
Yeah. Damn it.
Raise your right hand, repeat after me. I, Carlos Gonzalez. Do solemnly swear or affirm. That I will support the Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of the State of Illinois. And that I will faithfully discharge the duties. As a member of the Planning and Zoning Commission. For the City of Harvard according to the best of my ability. Congratulations.
Okay, congratulations, Carlos. Moving on to item number 14, for Planning and Zoning Commission mayoral appointment and oath of office. Seek your action, request the approval of the mayor's recommendation to appoint Jennifer Lick to the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Sorry, John, I have the same. Probably don't have to go through that again, but.
Make the motion to approve
Sincere.
the appointment of Jennifer Lick to the position of Planning and Zoning Commission.
I'll second that.
Have a motion by Albertson, a second by Platt-Miller. Any further comments or questions?
Yeah, I wasn't done speaking, but I had the floor. I'll forgive you. Proceed.
Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Perkins.
No.
Albertson.
Yes.
Haderlein.
Yes.
Platt-Miller.
Yes.
Lavallee.
Yes.
Hoeflich.
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes.
Creed.
No.
Motion carries 6-2.
All right, thank you. Jennifer, if you could come forward, please, and we'll swear you in.
Raise your right hand, repeat after me. I, Jennifer Lick. Do solemnly swear or affirm. That I will support the Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of the State of Illinois. And that I will faithfully discharge the duties as a member of the Planning and Zoning Commission for the City of Harvard according to the best of my ability.
All right, thank you, Jennifer. Okay, item number 15, we seek a motion to pay the bills. Motion to approve the payment of the bills in an amount of $972,263.98.
Make a motion to pay the bills in the amount of $972,263.98.
I'll second that.
Have a motion by Haderlein, second by Albertson. Any comments or questions here? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Albertson.
Yes.
Haderlein.
Yes.
Platt-Miller.
Yes.
Lavallee.
Yes.
Hoeflich.
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes.
Creed.
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
All right, thank you, clerk. Item number 16 is a vending license application for Bop's LLC, seeking to license one dart machine and one golf machine. Seek a motion to approve the Bop's LLC vending license as submitted.
I make a motion to approve Bop's LLC vending license as submitted.
I'll
I'll
second.
second that motion.
Lavallee beat you to it. So a motion by Platt-Miller and second by Lavallee. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Haderlein.
Yes.
Platt-Miller.
Yes.
Lavallee.
Yes.
Hoeflich.
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes.
Creed.
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
Albertson.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Item number 17 is the Harvard Downtown Business Alliance LTD, seeking to do the farmers market again this year. So they're seeking a motion to approve a letter requesting use of the downtown sidewalks for this year's farmers market program. And we do have representatives here if you have questions. But I think this is exactly what they wanted to do last year.
So it's going to be using the same site plan as last year?
Yes.
Okay, so that's all taken care of with you guys and everything?
Yes.
Okay.
And does the new outdoor business permit fee that's number 24, will that apply to this?
That's food trucks.
Because, yeah, this is, well, no,
So
that's
it
not
would
just
apply
food trucks.
to the farmer's market. So instead of each individual vendor, we would issue a market to the
Okay.
Business Alliance,
Okay,
which would be an umbrella for all participating vendors.
okay, thank you.
Sure. Any other comments or questions?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Perkins, second by Haderlein. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Haderlein.
Yes.
Platt-Miller.
Yes.
Lavallee.
Yes.
Hoeflich.
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes.
Kreite.
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
Albertson. Yes. All ayes, motion carries.
Thank you, clerk. Moving on to item number 18, Los Jalapenos Brothers Mexican Grill and Grill Restaurant is seeking to use parking spaces during the farmers market program. They seek a motion to approve Los Jalapeno Brothers Mexican Grill Restaurant to temporarily utilize the 2 parking spaces directly in front of the business during the farmers market events. And I think the expectation is they would just put down some cones. I think they want to put their tent out in those spaces to provide additional walkage on the sidewalk.
I'll make a motion to approve Los Jalapenos Brothers Mexican Restaurant, Grill Restaurant to temporarily utilize 2 parking spaces directly in front of the business during the farmers market events.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Platt-Miller, second by Haderlein. Any comments or questions here? The petitioner is here if you have questions for.
I just want to know if you're putting up a tent or something, it's a windy day, you're not going to be driving any stakes in any streets or any public infrastructure.
Could you please state your name and address for the record?
Yes, my name is Talia Garcia, and I live here in Harvard and Front Street, and I'm one of the owners of Los Jalapeno Brothers. I did not hear your question.
I just want to make sure that whatever you put into our streets or our sidewalks or our foliage or whatever
Right.
is not, does not damage it.
Oh, it's not going to damage. We usually set up right outside of the restaurant, but we currently have a planter and a light pole. So when we have the tent, when people are walking by, it's actually kind of blocking. I just feel like it would be smoother if I was in the parking spaces.
To
Just
be
so that
clear,
way- yeah.
Alderman, I believe it's a pop-up tent.
Yes, it's a pop-up tent. And
It's
we-
not like a full-blown tent that they
Yes.
drive stakes into the asphalt.
Okay.
And one more thing, it would only be during the farmer's market. As soon as the farmer's market is done, I would pick it up and reopen the spaces.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have any concerns about clearance between the parking spaces you'll be set up in and the ones that are open next to it?
Not really. I did an event last year where we had a mechanical bull and it went smoothly.
Okay.
All right, any other comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Platt-Miller.
Yes.
Lavallee.
Yes.
Hoeflich.
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes.
Kreite.
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
Albertson.
Yes.
Haderlein.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
All right, thank you very much. Item number 19 is a review of the cities of Harvard's engineer quarterly report. That would be Mr. Gary Raz.
I didn't know if it was specific of the report, just here to answer questions that maybe weren't received in their packets.
I do have one question. I know we've talked about this before. So what is it that we have to do as the city to take off the Turtle Crossing stormwater issue? Because supposedly by city, we were told that got fixed, the drainage improvement.
You want to address that?
I can answer that. We actually had a meeting this afternoon with our city engineer, Rob Clayton, the mayor, myself, to address the flows, the overflow issue behind those 2 lots, as well as the drainage issue on those lots. Our city engineer has been directed to engineer a swale, and once that's done, we'll have a game plan on how to proceed with that, and I will report back to your committee at that time.
So is that going to be at the city's cost?
It will be at the city's cost because it was approved, Those lots were pre-approved and by the city once they were built, so it is the city's responsibility to fix the drainage issue, and we will be using turtle crossing funds to do so, which we will be coming to Alderwoman Haderlein's committee for a budget amendment once we have those costs.
Okay, and then one other quick thing with that. I know we've said before, because this turtle crossing was a 20-year ago drainage study, and now we're seeing that there's actually an issue here. And we just got done with Amrise, that said that they're not going to use the 22 years of the wetlands survey, because everything could change by then. So, council, keep that in mind with any of these other subdivisions when we start developing on them, because we need to do new studies on every single one. Things change over 20 years. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Gary, did you have any comments on that?
No.
Okay. Thank you very much. Then we'll move on to item number 19. Proposed ordinance approving the City Harvard annual budget for fiscal year 2026-2027. Seek your action to, as requested, to adopt an ordinance establishing the annual budget for fiscal year 2026-2027 as presented.
I'll make a motion to adopt an ordinance establishing the annual budget for fiscal year 2026-2027 as presented.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Haderlein, second by Albertson. Any other comments or questions?
I just want to once again thank each of the departments and Deb for doing such a great job in putting everything together so clearly and giving us an opportunity ahead of all this to review things. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Lavallee.
Yes.
Hoeflich.
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes.
Kreite.
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
Albertson. Yes. Haderlein.
Yes.
Platt-Miller.
Yes.
Motion carries. This will be ordinance 2026-103.
All right, thank you, clerk. Item number 22.
21.
21, sorry, I lost my place here. 21, proposed ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget, seeking your action to adopt the proposed ordinance for a budget amendment to meet the auditor recommendations in additional engineering fees.
Deb, I have a question about the language in the ordinance.
Okay.
Because it says here that it's been determined that changes in certain line items need to be made relative to the police pension fund.
Good catch. That should be TIF 2 fund.
Okay,
We'll make sure that's changed.
okay,
I missed that.
okay. Yeah, sorry, I didn't notice
Yep,
it until right now.
I didn't either.
Okay.
So we'll make sure that that's changed.
Okay, thank you.
And this is engineering fees for Harvard Nutrition that were not budgeted for back when we did this current fiscal year budget. So we just need to do a budget amendment prior to the end of the fiscal year to account for those fees in this fund.
In the current fiscal
In the
year,
current fiscal year.
which ends
In 2 days.
In 2 days, yeah.
Plenty of time.
comments or questions?
I'll make a motion to adopt the proposed ordinance for budget amendment to meet the auditor recommendations for additional engineering fees for the 2025-2026 budget.
I'll second.
All right, motion by Haderlein, second by Platt-Miller. Comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Hoeflich.
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes.
Kreite.
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
Albertson. Yes. Haderlein.
Yes.
Platt-Miller.
Yes.
Lavallee.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries. Be ordinance 2026-104.
Thank you, clerk. Item number 22 is a discussion and action concerning carriage walks along Lincoln Street. We're seeking approval to removal of carriage walks on Lincoln Street as part of the 2026 road program project. And second, to direct staff to prepare code amendments establishing that carriage walks may be reinstalled by the resident by permit only, subject to ADA compliance.
So I think everybody knows, I'm a big no on this, and I honestly did not see anything in this memo that said we have to do this. It's at the city's discretion. This is not going to be a violation of the ADA if we don't remove them. I drove up and down Lincoln, and there are 22 carriage walks plus one side, it's just like stairs that at the end of a sidewalk where it doesn't go all the way to the corner, that they're just stairs going down to the road, which is really weird. But it's not, all the other ones lead from the street to the walkway that goes to the front door. To me, that's what the carriage walk is. That's what the purpose is. The vast majority of them are there because the driveway is on the side street. The driveway's on the cross street, and if someone parks in front of the house and is walking to the house, there isn't a driveway to walk around like most modern houses are built. You're walking from the street across the walkway and up to the front door on the walkway that is there. So it's a nice continuous thing. There is no reason that they need to be affected by putting in a new sidewalk. I give as evidence the carriage walk in front of my house where a new sidewalk was put in and the carriage walk was not damaged in doing that, nor was it removed, nor were any of the carriage walks removed in any of the other areas where we put in new sidewalks. So, and they were put in to ADA standards. So I don't know where this is coming from, but I vehemently oppose doing this. It will cost more to do this, not less, and because we have to remove the material, dispose of the material, we have to fill in the area with new soil, and we have to reseed it. And I can tell you that the contractors that did that work on the sidewalk along Jefferson Street a few years ago, they did a really poor job of putting in soil and reseeding, and we have tried for at least 3 years to get grass to grow in whatever it is that they put down to fill in along the sidewalk, and we still cannot get grass to grow. So I think this just has, it's unnecessary, unnecessary expense. So.
How much is it? For all 22, or do you have an individual price?
That'll be part of the engineering plan when we get to it. One of the bigger concerns with Lincoln Street is because it's being reconstructed, the plan and profile may change, grading may change, so leaving existing carriage walks might not be feasible in some areas.
They have the right to put it back in per permit, right? So if it's not feasible and the homeowner wants it back in, that kind of negates it, right?
Well, so if it's removed because it won't be able to meet the grade, or the grade is changed in that area, depending on, because some of these areas we're going to be having to grade and do retaining walls and things just to get rid of the staircases, the corners. So if somebody has a carriage walk near the corner, there's a decent chance that it might be affected by the grading to meet that without stairs.
But we don't know, right?
Right. Once the engineering comes through, we'll be able to tell which ones would be affected and which ones won't. And then also, with that, like you said, there's the option of having the homeowner put it back in if they so desire.
So question, so what about the other streets that we're redoing? McKinley and Second and Dewey? What about carriage walks along those streets?
That would be up to this body.
Well, why are we only talking about Lincoln?
Lincoln had the most challenges as far as grade goes. And with the redoing of the road and the corners, this is one of the challenges. And I think this directly results from a lot of the staircases, especially like that staircase at the end of the sidewalk.
Yeah.
That one's going to be removed because
It has to be.
once it continues on, there's no reason to have
Yeah.
that staircase.
Yeah,
there.
I agree. I agree with that one. There's no reason. But most of the way this reads to me is that they will all be removed. And I would say, from driving up and down the street, most of them, there's not a grade issue. Certainly the ones on the west side of the street, there is not a grade issue. It's not any different than Jefferson.
Assuming the sidewalk's going to be the same elevation that it's at now.
Are you
And
guys
it's
intending to
not?
take 'em
They
out?
may not, they may not. If we're reconstructing the street and there's a drainage issue with the profile, we may have to raise or lower the road a little bit, even if it's only 3 or 6 inches. Now that curb is not going to line up with that carriage walk, what do we do with it? Same with the sidewalk. If the sidewalk, especially on Lincoln, because it's so bad, if we have to lower it a little bit and that carriage walk isn't going to meet it anymore, what do we do with that carriage walk?
And so what are we going to do with the walkway to their house if the sidewalk's down and now
We would
doesn't
have
match up to
We
their...
would have to fix that half of it. We would have to do that. And the question, I guess this came up because the question was, do we get rid of them all? Do we replace them all? Do we do nothing with them? But some of them are so in such disrepair.
Yeah.
It would be a shame to have to do nothing, because now you have a brand new street and a brand new sidewalk, and you got this. It's not even concrete anymore. It's dust. It's gravel.
Yeah.
They're so bad.
Yeah, some of them
So
are
that's
bad.
how this kind of evolved into, all right, it's either all or nothing. So.
Whose fault is that?
What's that?
Why did it get so bad? Whose fault is that?
That would be the property owner's fault.
Why didn't the city get on them?
Yeah, it's
Just
on our
right now,
property, right?
Well, I think the city's trying to address that today.
Sounds
So we're
good.
seeking
I hope they do, but
we are seeking your guidance on how you would like to address the issue.
I guess the issue is we still don't know how much they're gonna cost, right? You'll let us know, more or less?
Yeah, I can't tell you exactly what it's going to cost. but-
Gary, we really need you to use this mic for the
I
audience.
can't tell you at this point exactly what they're going to cost, but I can tell you a sidewalk square is about $8. Excavations, maybe $30 a square yard. You got aggregate, you got to put down underneath the sidewalk. There's just too many variables for me to give you a cost. But it's going to be a decent amount if you've got 22 on the street.
To take them out.
Well, obviously it's going to cost more to replace them. It's going to cost less to take them out and put grass back, and it's going to cost you nothing just to leave them alone. It's just,
Well, like Lisa was saying, it's not costing you anything if you leave them alone, unless it's one that's affected.
So I would say leave them and use this money that from the sales tax that we wanted to do it on, the 1%, to fix as many roads. And the sidewalk thing, the carriage walk's not part of the sidewalk, so fix those and those roads. This is what people voted for when they passed this referendum. So I say leave it. And if they're in disrepair, disarray and everything, then the city goes find them and say, hey, tear it out then.
Okay, well then, so you would rather us have the resident remove it at their cost instead of the city remove them?
If they need to.
Well, I think many of them do need to be removed, so we're just looking for direction. So whatever the council decides you want to do, we need to finish out the costing for the engineering, and this
I just
is
want
an
to make
issue.
sure we get the most bang for the buck from this bond that we did. So,
To further Gary's point, and the reason we're here is that in this area, because of the grade changes, because of how much physically we'll have to change to correct a lot of the staircases, to correct a lot of the plan and profile, even small changes will end up with trip hazards, and it was either an all or nothing. It was either we're going to have to factor in and budget to replace all these things in kind, or we will have to just remove them, and if the resident would like to fix that in the future, there is that option. And also with the crossings, and we actually do have, we do have a couple of sight impaired residents in that area that rely on guide dogs. The other concern was if we start touching all these things, does that then turn into ADA compliance and people stepping off the curb?
I think the part I'm uncomfortable with is when we talk about an all or nothing, and some of them are in the repair or disrepair state where I would argue it doesn't exist.
Mhm.
So it's that, and then also we have a lot of ifs going on, like we might have to raise the road this much or that much in the sidewalk. Well, why don't we know how much we're doing that by? Because that will tell us how many of these are affected. So I feel like we're putting the cart before the horse here because we don't know the scope of what's affected here. And to the same point, this other part, if a resident wants it there, they should be able to opt in to have it as part of it, especially if it's being used. But if it's gravel and it's non-existent, or if it's a step at the curb, I would argue that they don't have one.
There will be, so if we choose to do the engineering to accept these or to determine whether or not they're feasible for each of these, that will add into the engineering cost to complete that work. So I think that's part of the reason we wanted to determine this beforehand, because that'll, depend, the engineering cost is going to be greater if that has to be figured out, and then we end up going a different direction. Gary, do you have anything to add to that?
Exactly. I need to know what I'm designing.
One quick thing, because I was going to actually bring it up when we approved the line number 31, but since this money, so that, how much money will we have left over from Air Street, which are we using for line item number 31? I have two different costs from the last meeting, $267K, or because Gary thought maybe we might get more back, $332,000. And this bid is way under for number 31, so this is going for this part right now.
So the money for the timber drive's been budgeted.
I know, but we're using that budget from the Air Street, what we had left over. That's what it was.
That, it's a new budget year, so this is completely,
So,
timber drive
okay.
was carved out.
It's all sales tax revenue, but we're going to be entering into a new budget year, so
So that money that we saved with this new,
it's all sales tax revenue.
okay, so we can't use that for help taking
are
out these
using it.
carriage
We are
walks.
using it.
For that part, taking the carriage walks out?
Well,
We're using it in this upcoming budget year for the road program,
Where at again?
in the road fund that we created to do the road program.
So it was transferred over to the bond part?
Correct.
Okay, I'm just
Yeah.
making sure. Yeah, 'cause that was gonna be my next thing, if we were able to use that money, that savings, to take those out, but since we can't use that, so never mind. Just trying to help.
I just feel like we don't have enough information on this.
What's your pleasure? Keep them, remove them, replace them? Really, that's the answer.
Motion to keep them because we don't know how much it's going to cost either way.
Could you get the homeowners an option to keep it or not keep it, or no?
They can replace it after they remove it. That's what I was
No, I mean,
told,
if it was,
right? Isn't that what we said?
Yes, the question or the recommendation from staff is to remove them all, to replace them all, or to keep them all. And just ignore them.
I'll second the motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Motion by,
Great.
Crete, yes, by Crete, and then second by Albertson to keep the carriage walks in place.
Yes.
Any further comments or questions?
I just want to clarify, if we're going to keep them in their current state, if we build the road and it comes, the grade comes up different, we build the sidewalk, the grade comes up different, there's a problem, but we're keeping them. So however it turns out, and that homeowner is going to live with it.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that's clear.
Yeah.
but what if it's a safety hazard?
Homeowner's going to
Like
live with it.
if it drops down 12 inches or?
Well,
Decision you're making
Right.
today.
Who would be liable?
I mean, I'm having a hard time imagining that the road grade is going to be significantly lower, since it's not going to be any lower at the intersections. So, I mean, right?
Higher.
It'd be higher in the middle.
And the
Right, but it's,
the corners, so like,
yeah,
right now, the sidewalks up here, because there's stairs that lead down. In order to meet the grade to get a crossing where you're not gonna need stairs, you might have to go out tens of feet in either
Yeah.
direction. So being that
Yeah.
a lot of these corner houses have the carriage walks that would be affected,
Yeah.
that there's a good chance that that grade change to get all the way out there to get the ramp to meet will affect their carriage walk.
and it'll affect the walk to their house.
Well, the walk to their house would most likely be captured by, in order to do those intersection or those corner changes, to do those retaining walls and things like that, we'll have to get an easement to build the retaining walls. So the easement's probably, if the carriage walk is going to be affected by that ramp, also that their carriage walk to their house, that will be affected as well, and that'll most likely be corrected at that same time. But the question is, if we have affected all these carriage walks, does the city want to invest that money to engineer and install? And, even if we left them as is after the fact, if there's this piece of sidewalk or piece of carriage walk that doesn't meet grade, that has different changes, removing it after the fact becomes a challenge, because now we're putting more equipment on the road and removing it, and there's clean concrete that's green. And
So I'd like to make a comment. I used to live at 813 West Washington Street, which is across the street from Mary's Park, over by Ratzloff there. When they did sewer improvements over there, my carriage walk was removed, period. There was no question. The way the grading was, the way everything was taken out, it was taken out, they planted grass seed. I had no say one way or another. The point being, though, there was really no place to park there and no use for that carriage walk, because that section of Washington Street was so narrow, there was no parking on either side. So the carriage walk, in its sense, was obsolete. I don't know what the parking situation is on Lincoln, but this is something that affected me at one time, and it didn't really affect me because a carriage walk was meant for you to go from parking your car on the street to your house, and there was no parking on the street there, just like on most of our streets.
There is parking on one side of Lincoln.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would make one comment that if we leave as is, then there's a likelihood, if there is an elevation level, then the city will come back after the fact and require the homeowner to bring the carriage walk compliant. So just make sure you were clear on that. All right, we have any more comments or questions? We have a motion and a second. Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll. Just to be clear, you're voting to leave the carriage walks as they are, untouched. Clerk?
Alderwoman Lancaster.
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
Albertson.
Yes.
Haderlein.
Yes.
Platt-Miller.
No.
Lavallee.
No.
Hoeflich.
No.
Motion carries 5-3.
Okay, item number 23. The Fraternal Order of Police Labor Agreement from May 1st, 2026 through April 30th, 2029. Action is requested to approve the agreement. Oh.
It would die.
That dies. Question was regarding the second action for item 22. Considering that we're maintaining the carriage walks, then no actions required. Item number 23 is the FOP labor agreement. We're seeking your approval for the agreement between Illinois Fraternal Order of Police Labor Council, FOP Lodge number 134 for a labor agreement beginning May 1st, 2026 and expiring April 30th, 2029, and authorizing the execution of the contract.
I'll make the motion as is.
Second.
I have a motion by Perkins, second by Kreite. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Creed.
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
Albertson.
Yes.
Haderlein.
Yes.
Platt-Miller.
Yes.
Lavallee.
Yes.
Hoeflich.
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
Thank you, Clerk. Item number 24 is the Community and Economic Development Committee's recommendation concerning outdoor market ordinance change, seeking a motion to approve an ordinance amendment requiring a city license for any outdoor market held on private or public property within the city unless otherwise provided, with a license fee of $25 per calendar day or $250 annually, expiring on December 31st of the applicable year, provided that not-for-profit organizations may be exempt from such fee upon approval of a waiver by the city council, and further provided that businesses operating from a permanent location within city limits shall be automatically granted an outdoor market license upon payment of the required fee under this section.
I did have a question regarding the verbiage there at the end of that, when it says the, upon payment of required fee, but we're talking about them not having to pay a fee.
They had a brick and mortar store, they weren't going to pay a fee.
Yeah, so the verbiage just feels weird.
It does, doesn't it? Counselor, do you have input on that?
That does feel weird. Is the intention to require permanent, a business with a permanent location to get some sort of outdoor fee, or are we looking to just exempt that?
It should be upon,
Is that payment of like a business license fee, or
no, it should be, they have to register.
on registration?
A registration for the license.
In other words, they could register the fee, register the license, but the fee would be waived for a permanent location that was going to use the sidewalk in front of their business.
We will want to rework the language
Yes.
to fit that.
Yes.
But that's it, yes. We'll just make that update.
Should we table the thing till next council, or do you want to?
It's up to the council. I mean, you can approve the ordinance pending that, revision.
Application for a outdoor market license.
Yeah, so businesses that operate from a permanent location within city limits are automatically granted an outdoor license upon registration for said license, required by this section.
When we just, it'd be easier to say that they are also exempt from the fee upon registration.
That way too.
But his is more lawyer.
Yeah,
Way harder to
more
understand.
words. Yeah.
I was seeing how few changes I could make in the current language, but we can also say businesses that operate from a permanent location with the city limits are exempt from this fee upon registration for the license.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second with
I have a motion by Perkins, second by Albertson to, let me make sure we read this, make sure we're all on the same page. Reading this properly.
I got it.
There we go. So, motion to approve an ordinance amendment requiring a city license for any outdoor market held on private property within the city limits unless otherwise provided, with a license fee of $25 per calendar day or $250 annually, expiring on December 31st of the applicable year, provided that not-for-profit organizations may be exempt from such fee upon approval of a waiver by the city council, and further provided that businesses operating from a permanent location within city limits shall automatically granted an outdoor market license upon registration for this in this section.
Without charge.
Registration of this license.
Of this license section, in this section.
Without charge.
Yes,
We'll work on the-
yes, without charge. All right. Any further comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Perkins.
Yes.
Albertson.
Yes.
Haderlein.
Yes.
Platt-Miller.
Yes.
Lavallee.
Yes.
Hoeflich.
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes.
Kreite.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries. Once it gets straightened out, it'll be ordinance 2026-105.
05. All right, thank you, clerk. Item number 25 is Community and Economic Development Committee recommendation revolving loan fund application. Seeking a motion to approve Eric Brem's request for a $50,000 loan at 3% interest over a 5-year term for building renovations at 15 North Air Street in Harvard, Illinois, 60033.
Motion to approve it as written.
I'll second.
A motion by Lancaster, second by Hoeflich. Any further comments or questions here? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Albertson.
Yes.
Haderlein.
Yes.
Platt-Miller.
Yes.
Lavallee.
Yes.
Hoeflich.
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes.
Crete.
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
Thank you, Eric. New roof on the way. There you go. Item number 26 is the Community and Economic Development Committee's recommendation for the 2026-2027 plan review and inspection services. Seek a motion to approve Hampton, Lenzini, and Renwick, Inc., also known as HLR, for the 2026-2027 plan review and inspection services.
I'll make a motion to approve HLR 2026-2027 plan review and inspection services.
I'll second that.
Have a motion by Platt-Miller, second by Albertson. Any further comments or questions here?
I know this was my committee, but this is May 1st. This starts.
Yes. New fiscal year. Hearing no further questions, clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Haderlein.
Yes.
Platt-Miller.
Yes.
Lavallee.
Yeah.
Hoeflich.
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes.
Crete.
Yes.
Perkins.
No.
Albertson.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-1.
Thank you, clerk. Item number 27 is the Parks and Recreation Board recommendation for American 250 Parade request. Seek a motion to approve the Parks and Recreation Board recommendation to authorize street closures and temporary no parking restrictions for the American 250 Parade on Friday, July 3rd, and Saturday, July 4th, before and during the event.
I'll make a motion to approve Parks and Recreation Board recommendation to authorize street closures and temporary no parking restrictions for the America 250 Parade on Friday, July 3rd, and Saturday, July 4th, before and during the event.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Platt-Miller, second by Lancaster. Any further comments or questions here?
There's going to be a parade on both days?
We need to block the street off the night before.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you can do the parade if you want.
Yes, John, there
Yep,
is.
I think Public Works is expected to put out the barricades and stage them for volunteers to actually close the
Unless, of course, you
streets.
feel like marching, John. We can get you to march.
It's worth noting this is a really short parade route.
Very short. So basically from Trinity Church to Lions Park.
Yeah, you could.
It should also be noted that I believe Public Works will put the barricades out on Thursday, since Friday is a holiday.
Yes, yeah, so they will be sitting there for a couple days, off to the side, so.
And then volunteers were going to set them up, if I recall.
Yes,
in the
that's
meeting.
correct. Any further comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Platt-Miller.
Yes.
Lavallee.
Yes.
Hoeflich.
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes.
Crete.
Yep.
Perkins.
Yes.
Albertson.
Yes.
Haderlein.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
Okay, moving on to item number 28, which is Parks and Recreation Board recommendation. The Land Conservancy of McHenry County, TLC, Memorial Oak Planting at Lions Park. Seek a motion to approve the Land Conservancies of McHenry County, also known as TLC, Memorial Oak Planting at Lions Park.
Make a motion to approve the Land Conservancy of Henry County TLC Memorial Oak Planting at Lions Park.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Lancaster, second by Albertson. I think you're going to be planting about 15 trees, I think, is that right?
Yeah, it's 16.
16, okay. Any further comments or questions?
Do we know where they're all going yet?
These are going to go into Lions Park around the path, and I think they're going to be staggered with a bunch of tulip trees that the city also is going to be planting.
You have a plan? Okay, just make sure we have a plan.
We have a plan.
Everything else.
Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Lavallee.
Sure, yep.
Hoeflich. Yes. Lancaster.
Yep.
Kreite.
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
Albertson.
Yes.
Haderlein.
I think I should recuse myself.
Abstain.
Abstain.
Platt-Miller.
Yes.
Motion carries 7 yes, 1 abstention.
Okay, thank you. Item number 29 is a discussion and action on Parks and Recreation Field Use Fees, ordinance 2023-114. I asked this to be put on the agenda because we continue to have not-for-profits seeking to have fees waived. And having sat on the Parks Board back in 2015, when these were kind of created, the intention was that these fees would generate additional revenue for the Parks Department to maintain those fields, and the council has continuously waived these fees. So my question for council is, why do we have the fees structured at all if all we do is waive them? What's the point? Because it's creating extra work for all these not-for-profits that each year have to come and make the request, and they have never been denied. So, and since the waiver request is already kind of part of the application process, or at least is part of that application, it seems kind of silly that we continue to force these groups to go through the waiver process when we always waive them. So should we even consider revoking the ordinance so that there are no fees? I'm just looking for some guidance because this happens every year for several of these sporting organizations.
Do we know offhand how much we've taken in fees over the last year or two?
Last year, 0, because they were all waived.
Do they not maintain them for the most part?
So the city maintains the parks to a certain degree, and then certain groups maintain above and beyond what the city maintains. So the argument has always been for these groups like, hey, we are putting additional funding that we collect from our fees for our kids and putting those into the fields, and then the city is also charging us a fee. And the fee was created back in 2015, 2016 because the Parks Department wasn't getting enough revenue, so this was a source to generate additional revenue to take care of those fields that weren't being maintained by the city to the level that they are today. But since then, we have essentially waived every fee that has been, that each of these groups are seeking to get waived. On top of that, the part of the point of creating those fees was to ensure that each of these sporting organizations were providing input to the city in terms of what their schedules were and when they were going to use the fields. To date, we struggle to get any of those schedules, and oftentimes there are people playing and groups playing in using those fields where the city has there has not been any registration with the city. The city doesn't know anything about it until we find out after the fact. So it's a really difficult place for the city to enforce the fees on those groups who have not applied or registered, and then we waive fees for all these other groups that do register but don't always give us the schedule to know when they're playing their games. So there's a lot of minutia that's associated with these fees, and so I'm suggesting that we take a look at that and determine, do we really need the fees since we are always waiving them?
Are we specifically, when we're talking about the park-related fees, or all the fee tables that were provided in the packet? Because there's also police and other type of fees on there.
There are other fees that are in there relative to larger groups, say like Milk Days, who would have security requirements. But so far as I know, none of the sporting
teams are required to have any security requirements.
I'm just trying to set the scope of what we're talking about here.
I'm specifically referring to the field usage fees that we charge the not-for-profit sporting organizations that utilize those fields.
So it's just the lighted field per hour and the non-lighted field per hour, it's just those two?
Correct.
And so everything else would stay?
Correct.
And we do collect those fees?
We do. Like if someone rents a pavilion, like they pay the fee and that's a truly reserved item.
Okay.
But for the sporting groups, it's been very non-enforced, I guess is the answer. And so it's created this extra process where each of these groups come to request a waiver and we waive them anyways. Why are we putting them through that process if we are never actually going to charge those fees?
I have a question on a comment that you made that we want to know what their schedules are and we don't know their schedules. Is that something that's imperative or is that something that doesn't matter either?
Well, the idea was that they would reserve the field so that if another group wanted to utilize the field at the same time, they have just rights to it. But since not all groups contact the city or give us their schedules, we don't know when they're using the fields. We don't know when their games are. We don't know when their practices are. And we have not charged for them to use the fields for practice, only for games.
So, question, so technically, like say if I was a kid and I got like 8 of my buddies together and I go play on a baseball field, technically the city should be charging them $5?
If they reserve the field,
No, I'm
yes.
going, okay.
If they the key is reserving the field.
I was trying to make sure I didn't see that in the reserve part.
Somebody must be, I guess I don't understand how these organizations don't conflict with their schedules.
Well, generally, there's only certain organizations that are using certain fields. The exception to that rule is the soccer, because there are several soccer groups that are all using the same soccer fields. And some groups are setting up the soccer fields, another group's coming in, taking advantage of the first group setting up the soccer field. The first group is seeking a waiver of fees, the second group may or may not even register with the city. And there's actually 3 or 4 soccer groups that are using. So this really affects the soccer groups more than it does, say, like the HERS fields are generally only used by the HERS group and the high school softball team. The boys league is generally only used, or at Moose Field is generally only used by the boys league. And the softball fields out at Milky Way Park are generally only used by Lady Sting at the moment. But other groups could pop up at any time.
Well, you bring up a good point because I know there was some talk on social media, and when you talk about a nonprofit group, we really should know who's using our parks. That's part of the permit process. That's part of it. And if a group is actually not a non-for-profit, they don't have the correct insurance, they're out there, some kid breaks a leg, what are our liabilities?
Well, and I should state that some of these groups claim to be not-for-profits, but cannot prove that they are not-for-profit.
Right. So that's why I think the permit process is important. I also think part of the requirement should be at least a tentative schedule. Because what if I want to, I've talked about some fun events that we can do in parks, some silly things like, maybe get some of the police departments, doing challenges against each other. And maybe I want to do that at Moose Field. But if I don't know when the games are, or I can't do that. Okay, I put you guys on the spot, huh? We'll talk.
We have the staff versus council T-ball tournament, right?
Oh, yes, that. T-ball.
Joe, can you give any input to this issue from your perspective as the director?
Yes. So my perspective is a little kind of black or white. So we could go with the option, so right now we do require certificates of insurance, but we're only getting those from our affiliate groups that talk to us. So there actually are groups out there that are using the fields for full-on games, tournaments, practices. I only found out about one of them today because I didn't know that they were using the field. So it's essentially saying for all of our groups that are really good affiliate partners, they talk to us, they eventually get us their schedules because I bother them. They give us their certificates of insurance. They're also going through this additional process to then ask for a fee waiver request. I'm checking with the Secretary of State, the IRS, trying to figure out their nonprofit status, going back and forth. Says you're dissolved. Well, we're dissolved on this, but we're not on this. And so it has become kind of a bigger administrative lift, I think on both sides, because they keep hearing from me, we need your schedule. I think the other side that we could do is make everyone have some sort of certificate that says I'm able to be here. I've given my certificate of insurance, I've given the city my schedule, I've given, I've gotten the fee waiver, whatever it is, but then we would have to have a process to enforce that, and right now we don't have that. And that would have to be all the time, whenever the parks are open.
And then, of course, that's administrative work, so that costs us as a city money. There's time
And
involved in
likely
that.
from the police department, because they are here all the time.
The other point that she does bring up is that not all the groups that are using the parks, especially some of these that are in the soccer leagues, are not for, like, they're for profit. Like they are charging the participants significant funds, and the city sees none of that funding. They don't invest in the park. They don't take care of the fields. They're just benefiting over the affiliate groups that we are engaged with, who are lining and investing in soccer goals and things like that. So what I'm bringing to you is that this is an issue, and we need to devise a plan, and how do you want to proceed? Because in that instance, that particular soccer group is actually damaging the field because they're playing adults who have, longer spikes, cleats, turning more aggressively than a kid is, so that creates more wear and tear on the field, and they provide no input to the city into the damage that they create for the fields. But the other affiliate groups that are using the same field after the fact then are left with the field in the condition that it is. And so it's a problem that I'm bringing to you, seeking how do you want to resolve this, because right now the way it's working doesn't really work.
I think this should be sent to the parks.
Was going to agree with you. I think we
We
should
need to
send
hash it out there and bring it back.
Yeah, and we can maybe do some investigating on what other communities are doing to alleviate this problem, what they've done.
All right, very good. Then we will send this issue to the Parks Board for consideration at their next meeting.
So this next team isn't one of the ones that's causing troubles, right?
No, but no. So let's move on then. Item number 30 is Park and Recreation Board's recommendation for a fee waiver request, seeking a fee waiver request for Harvard Lady Sting Softball, which is a not-for-profit youth sports organization, requesting waiver of park fees and seeking your approval to approve or deny the request.
I'll make that motion as is to approve.
I'll second.
A motion by Perkins, second by Platt-Miller to waive the park fees for Harvard Lady Sting Softball. Any comments or questions?
Play Milky Way?
They do. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Lancaster.
Yes.
Crete.
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
Albertson. Yes. Haderlein.
Yes.
Platt-Miller.
Yes.
Lavallee.
Yes.
Hoeflich.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
All right, thank you, council. Then moving on to item 31. Seeking staff's recommendation for Timber Drive Hot in Place recycling bid. Seeking a motion to approve the contract with Peter Baker and Son for Timber Drive Hot in Place recycling in the amount of $251,570 and authorize staff to proceed with the project coordination.
I'd like motion to approve the contract with Peter Baker and Son for Timber Drive Hot in Place Recycling, amount of $251,570, and authorize staff to proceed with project coordination.
Second?
I have a motion by Lavallee, second by Haderlein. Any further comments or questions here? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Creed.
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
Albertson.
Yes.
Haderlein.
Yes.
Platt-Miller.
Yes.
Lavallee.
Yes.
Hoeflich.
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
Thank you, clerk.
I would just like to add, once you get their schedule, if you could put that on email.
I'll update once I get the schedule. I talked to the recycler and Peter Baker and Son. They just have to coordinate together. Obviously, it's a big process to bring up this way, so right now they were estimating sometime in August.
I just want to, because this is a process we're looking at to maybe use in other locations in the city, some of the aldermen and whatnot would like to view the process.
Certainly, we'll have some heads up. I know there was discussion from them that said that they will provide ample notice, not only to us, but to surrounding communities, because they would like to demonstrate more of the hot in place recycling for surrounding communities.
We can kick it off.
Cool.
Do a big celebration.
Sell tickets.
Yes.
Okay, then, moving on to item number 32, Infrastructure Committee recommendation. Seek a motion to approve IDOT motor fuel tax, also known as MFT, resolution of $150,000 and estimate in the amount of $85,000.
Make a motion to approve IDOT motor fuel tax, MFT resolution of $150,000 and estimate in the amount of $85,000.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Haderlein, second by Platt-Miller. Further comments, questions here? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Perkins.
Yes.
Albertson. Yes. Haderlein.
Yes.
Platt-Miller.
Yes.
Lavallee.
Yes.
Hoeflich.
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes.
Creed.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
Thank you, clerk. Item number 33 is seeking to schedule the next committee of the whole meeting. One of the things that was brought to my attention by a couple of alder people and some of the public and concerning a recent committee meeting and some of the issues that came out of that meeting. I've reached out to our counselor's office and asked them if they could please provide some training to the city council in terms of Robert's Rules of Order. I think that would really help us both in committee structure and in city council to run the meetings efficiently and make sure everybody knows what type of actions they can take in a meeting and what kind of things that to move a meeting that gets quagmired or is out of line. So I've asked them to do that in the next committee of the whole. We're looking to do that either on June 8th or June 10th. What is council's availability on those two dates?
I'd prefer June 8th if it's okay.
Yeah, I'm not available the evening of June 8th.
Yeah, I'm not available.
Me either.
Not available.
I'll be working.
How about June 10th?
I'm not available.
I could do June 10th.
I'm good June 10th.
Yeah, I can do the 10th.
Well, what I recommend then is if we get the majority to come to the June 10th, that we schedule it for June 10th, and for those who are unable to make it, we can provide separate training.
I probably won't be there either because I have a son's baseball game, so I'm not going to miss that.
Is it mandated? Required?
It's a city council meeting, so if, if you can't make it, you can't make it.
Yeah, if it's on a Sunday, I can.
Can we look at different dates?
Well, those were the two dates that the attorneys were available to conduct the training.
If we need to, between TJ and I, we can find another date. So if it sounds like we might struggle to get a quorum at either one of those.
Yes, that's true.
I would rather say, let's find a date that works for the council.
Okay.
We will figure out a way to make it happen on our end.
Fair enough. Is there a date in June that works for everyone else? Or works for everyone?
What's city council? We can do it there.
Would prefer to do this in a committee of the whole structure because it's more of a committee type of meeting versus a council business meeting. Plus, we would probably have some additional items to discuss in committee of the whole. We haven't had one in a while.
17th?
4 o'clock,
What time are we talking?
3:30, 4 o'clock?
7?
We could do 6:30.
We could do 6:30 if that works.
How about the 16th? Is that not gonna
Tuesday,
work?
June 16th.
Play. I can change my play.
You got a flight?
I have a play.
Oh, I
I have
see.
theater. Theater.
They said flight. I'm like, you can't change that.
I could probably rearrange those tickets if I had to.
I mean, I'm good with the 16th. For you, Joel.
I won't know until we got our next progress report.
Does 16th work for you, Mike?
I think so.
Okay.
All right, then let's plan for June 16th
6:30?
6:30.
at 6:30 PM.
Now you and TJ just have to make it work.
We will figure it out.
Okay, thank you. Item number 34 is strategic vision review. Any items that the city council wishes to review tonight concerning strategic vision?
I just want to briefly comment that I did attend a meeting at Cliff Dwellers Club a few weeks ago, and I met briefly with Diane Chander-Mars Hall, who has a long history in the state of Illinois in developing art councils, and actually sits on the Illinois Art Council and sits on the board at the Cliff Dwellers Clubs, which is an arts organization in downtown Chicago. We have kind of been playing phone and email tag, but I think, she has done consulting for this type of thing before. Being that we're members of the same club, I might be able to at least get some free advice to start and an outline. So I do have someone who knows a lot more than me that I'm communicating with.
All right, well, ideally, I'd like to have appointments to create the council near the end of summer. So I have a couple people I think have already that would be good fits, but need to find a few more. So, and it would be great to engage this person. Could you send me her contact info?
Sure.
Just so, we could engage her from the admin's office and to figure out if they might be able to help us with this process. Okay, thank you. Anything further from anyone else?
I wanted to bring up a little history on this gravel pit. Before the gravel pit was bought, the owner,
Well, could I ask you to bring that up under committee reports when you have the floor for committee report?
Yes.
okay, yeah.
Okay. All right, very good. Then item number 35 is staff monthly reports. We'll start with the chief.
I don't have anything further to report submitted, Mayor.
Well, glad to see you're back in the land of the living, yes? Yeah, you look good.
All fixed.
All right.
Two things that I have, May 15th, we have our Duncan Cop on a Rooftop event, 5 a.m. to noon. I would just kind of putting this out there for the public. We would appreciate any and all support. On a side note, we're trying to beat last year's goal. I think we came in right around $5,000 last year. Came to my attention recently that the city of Marengo raised substantially more than that last year. So we're going to be working hard to beat that. But May 15th, 5 a.m. to noon, all donations go towards Special Olympics. We're going to have things like shirts, mugs, and what have you. The second thing that I have is that we just joined the consortium for police testing. This is something new that we're doing, different strategy than we've used in the past. That will be on June 7th, be a Sunday. I'll be attending that. So essentially, it's the initial part of the process. These candidates will show up. Several different agencies will be present. They'll take the test. The rest of the process for hiring is handled the same way as it usually is by us and the police commission. So
Is that testing going to be at MCC? Is that where it's going to be?
Yes.
MCC, okay.
Yes.
All right.
So those are the only two things that I have. Other than that, that's all.
Okay, thank you. Joe?
Report as submitted.
Right. Rob?
Report is submitted.
Thank you.
Clayton?
Report as submitted.
Ann?
Report as submitted.
And quick question. Nothing on the dispensary. Anything with that? There's nothing on that report.
They're still working on it.
Because I knew they were supposed to be end of May, right?
They were shooting for May 1st. That's not happening.
Yeah.
Probably more like mid-June.
Mid-June now?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Treasurer's report. Turner's report.
Do you want to do committee reports, Mayor?
Oh, did I skip over? I did, 'cause I checked that box. I'm wanting to get out of here. All right, committee reports, my apologies. Mike, now,
Oh, I just wanted to bring
now
up
you have the floor, sir.
Sorry, a little history on that gravel pit area.
Yes.
Before the gravel pit bought it, Stocks owned that farm, and he wanted, Del Webb wanted to go. I don't know if you guys all knew that.
Yes,
okay.
many people don't realize that Del Webb, that is in Huntley, would have been on this property if not for one farmer.
Right.
Yes, and that farmer held out and killed the project. The project moved to Huntley, and the Del Webb in Huntley, as you know, is a pretty large.
I just thought I'd bring it up since a lot of people here probably didn't know that.
So.
Actually, I dated my first girlfriend on that property.
Oh,
too.
did you? Yeah. You can tell us about that offline. John, anything tonight, sir?
We need a transportation meeting.
We do.
Which one is
Next
that?
month, I got the
Infrastructure,
ninth.
John.
Infrastructure.
All right.
I got the 9th, which was our standing date for the meeting.
That's a
is that-
Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh, we're doing May. I was looking at June.
Sorry, not available, John.
I think it's
Oh, I'm in the wrong month.
the 13th,
Yeah.
Wednesday the 13th. 6:30?
Hold on, now I'm all balled up. Actually, I got the 12th.
Oh, Tuesday the 12th.
Tuesday the 12th.
My bad, all right.
Oh, can we do the 13th like the mayor was saying?
We could do the 13th, whatever works for your schedule, Matt.
We're hoping to have candidates for the wastewater director position for interview that night. At least 2.
Okay. Yep, 13th at 6:30? 6:30? Okay. 6:30, 13th, got it. That's all I got.
All right, thank you. Annamarie?
Nothing at this time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Lisa, anything tonight?
We have a tree board planting for Arbor Day on Saturday at 10 at Lions Park. And we need to have an admin committee meeting, which I think is going to be on May 20th at 6:30.
Okay. Anything else?
Oh, just given the time, I'm not going to go into my tirade about the proposed legislation, so.
We got time.
Proposal about what?
It's only 9:40.
The governor's proposed legislation,
Oh.
the Build Act. Yeah, and I appreciate everything that the mayor and staff are doing in that regard, but I really think and thank you for sending out the information, Mayor. But the council needs to be aware of this because the impacts, if it's passed as is, will be awful. I mean, they really will. It'll cost us money. It will potentially change the character of our community, and I have been trying in my advocacy efforts with regard to this legislation. I'm doing it as in my job at the Land Conservancy, as the director at the Land Conservancy, because we are very concerned about it from the environmental impact. But and I make sure even though people know that I'm on the city council in Harvard, I'm not here with the city of Harvard. I'm here with the Land Conservancy of McHenry County. But there are, I think, things that we could be doing collaboratively with other municipalities, like closer in municipalities, Lake County, Cook County municipalities that are equally concerned. The effects may be a little different there, but they're just as concerned as we are about the potential impact of this. And anyway, I don't know the best way to proceed, but I'll continue to provide information as I can, because it could be it could be huge, the impact on us, and it's not good. I mean, I don't disagree with the goals of the program, but the mechanism of choosing a one size fits all legislation that says, hey, if you've got, you have to allow a single family home on a 2,500 square foot lot. And if you've got a 7,500 square foot lot, you got to allow somebody to put 8 units on that. So, yeah, that's crazy stuff. But anyway, that's it.
Okay. Jay, you have anything tonight?
I just had a quick question, and this is part of the sidewalk stuff we didn't get to. When we're talking about ADA compliance, and I had a question is, like, for the current city code, do we have to have ADA compliant sidewalk crossings when someone redoes the sidewalk right now?
So generally speaking, when people do sidewalk in front of their house, I don't know if I've ran into anybody that does the corner.
So the lot across from me had to redo both of theirs, and they didn't do it to ADA, which is why I'm asking.
Okay, generally speaking, if you touch one corner, you have to touch all 4 corners. If there was a permit filled out or anything like that,
That's
how long ago was that?
That was just this past summer.
Okay.
Right. But that's why I'm asking if the
Sure.
city has any guidelines on that or not, because it was a missed situation, or do we need to make sure we have ADA requirements when people are redoing curb connections?
Typically, and Clayton can speak to this more, when a plan is submitted, we're in an area that doesn't include sidewalks, as part of the plan review, that those sidewalks should be, looked at, make sure they're in the right position, make sure that they follow all compliant stuff
Correct.
that comes in. Because once we accept the sidewalk, once it's complete, it becomes the city's to maintain.
Okay. That was my only.
Okay. Matt, you have anything?
Do I need a meeting from me? Or from my committee?
Not for me.
Okay. There was one other thing I was gonna say, so there was gonna be 2, but there's only one I had written down, I forgot the second one, so that second one, when I figure it out, you'll probably get a phone call. So, and it's kind of touching on what the mayor mentioned about Robert rules and everything, one thing I kind of wish, and I don't know, hopefully you guys can tell me, Deb and the mayor, if that, drainage study was already in you guys' plan in January to put on the budget as a staff.
For Milky Way?
Yeah.
I don't.
'Cause I know usually the budget's usually worked by then usually, so that's why.
It was January or February that I
guess we
said,
did March
hey, this
budget
needs
now.
to be
I'm
done
used to
because.
February. Yeah. No, I get it. So I just was wondering if it was already known, what could have not happened on Monday happened if staff already knew, hey, we wanted to wait for this drainage study to bring all this towards for the Parks Committee meeting. where
Well,
they
it was
initially,
discussed at the budget workshop,
yeah,
for sure.
but I just know because the first meeting he had in January, the Milk Days Committee had in January, was initially approved unless, as long as it met compliance with the OSLAD grant. And then once we did our city council meeting that January, that's when we said, oh, he didn't even bring it to city council. So that's why I got brought back to the Parks Committee. So I just thought if it was known in January as staff, I knew city council members usually don't know what's in the budget until we go to the budget workshop. That's one thing. So I just do think it was a pretty poor meeting with that. And I, at least for the Milk Day Committee and the board, I do apologize how that looked. So that's all I got.
Okay. Joel, you have anything?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Lori, do you have anything this evening?
I don't believe we need a meeting in May unless I'm mistaken for parks.
You'd like to talk about usage fees in May versus June?
No,
Field
I
usage
was
fees.
just saying, I didn't know if we needed a meeting in May or if June would be the appropriate time.
If we could wait until June, it would give staff more time to look into the fee structure and come back to your committee with a plan. I can't think of anything else that's needed.
So then it's still scheduled for June 15th then?
Yes.
Okay. And yeah, regarding Monday's meeting, I know a lot of people were not keen on it, and we discussed what could have been done differently. And I'm looking forward to the committee of the whole meeting coming up, so that way we can discuss things that we can put in our tool belt to help with this.
Okay. Anything further? Okay. Then we will move on to Treasurer's Report.
The report is submitted.
Okay. Attorney's Report.
There are a couple of things that I'll address in closed session. Very quickly, though, to add on to Alderwoman Haderlein, I believe everyone did receive the memo that TJ put together on the Build Act. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to TJ or me. We're available to talk about it. I would also add that I believe McCog has taken a very strong stance against this, and these bills are up periodically and getting hearings periodically. One thing you can do is you can register as a witness and provide a witness slip either in favor or against whatever is going on there. So to the extent that that is something you are looking to do, that is a mechanism for you to be involved at this point.
Okay, thank you. Administrator's Report.
Reports in the packet, Mayor.
Clerk's Report.
Upcoming meeting dates, Saturday, May 2nd, tree planting event at Lions Park, 10 to 1. The Planning and Zoning Commission meeting for May is canceled due to lack of agenda. Infrastructure Committee is May 13th at 6:30. Admin Committee, May 20th at 6:30. And the next regular City Council meeting will be May 26th at 7 p.m. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Clerk. Item number 41 is the Mayor's Report. I just have a few items I wanted to bring to your attention. Number one, as part of the Arts Commission, currently, we don't have any ordinance for murals in our code. And so I anticipate having the Arts Commission kind of be the process that will handle mural requests to go into the city. We will also need to create an ordinance, but I certainly believe that the Arts Commission could be the process in which murals are part of the approval process before it comes to City Council. So as we get closer to that and devising that, it will come to your committee for admin, for
what I think will need an ordinance to regulate the process for murals. And then, hopefully we can get some murals in the near future within the community. Also, I wanted to inform you that we did close on the downtown lots on Air Street on Friday. So those are now owned by the city, and Public Works will be erecting a fence across the open lots to kind of shield the alleyway from view from Air Street. The material's already been purchased, so I think it's just a matter of timing for Public Works and when they'll actually install the fence.
It's not over 6 foot, is it? Okay.
Change that.
It's 6 foot.
Also, I wanted to mention that we did have the official ribbon cutting for the pathway that went around in Lions Park. Was attended by Senator Severson, who was instrumental in helping us get the grant that funded that project. I will mention, I wish some of the city council had also attended that ribbon cutting. It was, no city council arrived for that.
I don't remember even hearing about it.
Didn't hear about it either.
It would have been nice to have an email that said, hey, this is happening on that date, and I
Yeah.
don't recall
Formal
that.
invite.
Yeah,
Nice
yeah. Like
invite.
putting it on social
Fancy.
media, I'm probably not going to see
So
it.
we will make efforts to make sure the council knows when such things are coming to pass. But I believe that had been scheduled for about 6 months, something like that.
That's probably why we didn't hear about it.
Could be, could be. Also, I wanted to just follow up on the build initiative that the governor is doing. You all should have received my memo by now. We did have a very frank conversation with the Government Affairs Office and kind of outlined all of our concerns about this act. Of course, it is not finalized yet. We are keeping close tabs on it, and we will update you as activity moves forward on it, so we can know how we can respond. Other than that, that's all I have for Mayor's report. At this juncture, I'd seek a motion to enter into
Mayor?
closed session.
Before we do that, I did realize the last thing I wanted to ask, and that's because you started talking about the arts thing. Any updates since we've got new people doing planning and zoning, more interest? How about for the Parks Committee? We're still short two people, I mean.
I believe we have one opening, not two. And actually, there is someone who's interested in that position, but and I will be bringing an appointment to the council.
Oh, there's only one?
There's currently one opening, and one person is ready to move into that position.
Oh, because I only know Pep shows up. Who's the other non?
Yenta
Oh,
was appointed last year.
that's right. I haven't seen him in a while. That's right. Okay.
There.
Okay. Maybe the last two I didn't see. Maybe.
So accept the motion, go into closed session to discuss active litigation pursuant to section 2C11.
I'll make that motion.
Take a 5-minute recess before that?
We can.
We're gonna go into session.
We can go into session, take a recess, and come back.
Whatever, you can move to go into session. You'll note that what time you're adjourning this to go to closed session, and then we'll just note when we're starting closed session.
Cool.
If you want to get the vote done.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, who made the motion? Perkins, second. Haderlein. Clerk, please call the roll.
This one too.
Alderman Albertson? Yes. Haderlein?
Yes.
Platt-Miller?
Yes.
Lavallee?
Yes.
Hoeflich?
Yes.
Lancaster?
Yes.
Kreite?
Yes.
Perkins, all ayes.
All right, we'll recess for 5 minutes, take a comfort break. And I will pause the stream, which I think will effectively end the stream.
How's it going long enough that it's, if you pause, we'll end it.
The fire chief.
See, I